It's going to be an episode of hate. But before we get to the hate, let's just get
some love.
We got some love.
I want to give a big shout out to our buddy Phil. You know him on Twitter. It's at Flixology101. That's FLIXOLOGY 101. Give him a follow because he did the best and the worst thing he could do for us. He gave us a gift, but he gave us a gift of Ginty. So I don't know. I'm discombobulated. Yeah. I want to say thank you. I want to say fuck you at the same time.
Yeah, it's very. You put that shirt on, you're just like, oh, this is a good fit. Yeah. Why? How'd you do this so well? But then you look in the mirror, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, he sent us some T-shirts, one from me and Griff, and it's got Ginty's face on it.
Yeah.
I thought it was Elephant Man at first, and I was like, well, we do kind of like Lynch, but it's kind of obscure. And then I was like, wait, it's Ginty, because Elephant Man didn't smoke, and there's a cigarette hanging out.
Right, of course.
And I'm just like, I'm glad, first of all, I'm glad they came in plastic bags, because I did vomit all over
yeah, which was my reaction as well. We just finished cleaning up the vomit all over the pod studio.
Right, Mattingly did, we didn't.
Well, yeah, of course.
But, I mean, he's glad he came in from his honeymoon to do that. But, you know.
It's very nice of him.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy he is. Well, we do pay him to be that kind of guy, so.
He's the manliest of manservants.
That's right.
So I just want to give a shout out to Phil. Your reward/punishment will be you get to guest on our next Ginty movie. He already supplied it. I hated this movie. I'm going to hate him. I hate to have a guy come on in his virgin territory and we just blister him, but we might do that.
Well, you did show me a shot, and doesn't Ginty have a mullet in that movie?
I don't know. I just went Ginty blind because I couldn't stand looking at him.
Yeah, see, that's the problem, too. It's like I'm going to be driving wearing that Ginty shirt, and I'm going to happen to look down or notice it in the mirror or something, and I'm going to go Ginty blind because that is a thing that happens. Right. You go get blind.
Well, the good thing, I'm going to try to rob a bank wearing the Ginty shirt because I think people's eyes will be drawn to that face that they won't notice my face at all.
He's like the modern Medusa. You look into it and you just go to stone. It's like you can't function after you look at Ginty's face. It's just science.
Right.
I don't know.
So look forward to that. We'll try to fit it in at the end of the month.
Oh, God.
I want to talk about something that I saw this week, something more positivity, because we're going to be negative for the next hour and a half.
Yeah, okay. Let's
finally, after 2.5 years, I finally ventured out to see a movie at the movie theater.
How did it go? There was a lot of people?
There wasn't, which I was glad. There was
okay.
only about 2 or 3 other people.
Not a stressful situation at all.
No, I went to a matinee.
Yep, of course.
And because I don't like, it's already too expensive to see movies nowadays.
God bless the matinees, man. I love a good matinee.
I saw The Northman.
Yeah.
Big Viking thing. I love Viking shit, Griff. You know that of me.
This is true.
My mother's 100% Scandinavian. I have the Viking blood coursing through my veins.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't wait to see this movie. And first of all, skip ahead 5 minutes. If I might give some spoilers out. So if you don't want to be spoiled. I dug it. I didn't think it was the greatest movie of all. There were some things I didn't care for. If you've seen Hamlet, you've basically seen this movie because it's a revenge story about a guy who's going to kill his uncle who killed his father type thing. Okay. But there was cool shit in it, man. You get the fucking berserker ritual where they get pumped up to kill people. I wanted more Viking marauding. I wanted less revenge story.
Yeah.
More Viking marauding.
I could see that.
So you get to see him because like the berserkers, they would like make this concoction with like magic mushrooms and shit and psychedelics, so they would fucking lose their mind.
I like the sound of that.
And they would literally think they're turning into wolves and bears and shit.
Hell
and they would strip naked. In the real life, they'd strip naked and they would throw them in the front lines like, go, motherfuckers, because they were like on PCP basically.
Yeah.
And they would just kill motherfuckers. Sadly, the director said, the director, I'm blanking on his name, but he did The Witch, which I liked. He did The Lighthouse, which I haven't seen. He's all about authentic shit and being really authentic. So, you know.
It doesn't belong in modern movies today.
So he wanted the dicks out. And they're like, sorry, we can't have dicks out.
He shouldn't have gone for a major motion release. He should have went for HBO because HBO loves them some dicks these days. And good on you, HBO. But, yeah, major motion picture. You can't get dicks.
No. And unfortunately, the movie's flopped. And it bummed me out because this is a guy trying to do something different, you know, like, but people just want the same shit. They want Mechanic 2011 is what they want.
And they did get a fucking sequel to this movie, and I think they got a TV show based on it.
I hope not.
What the fuck? Are we ready? Do you need to talk anymore? Or was
No,
that
I
the
just want to
perfect
give
segue
it's
and I
a
ruined
perfect
it?
segue. The guy trying to do something different and innovative being shut down because of it, because you lame motherfuckers, not you, because you guys are fucking cool. You listen to us. But I'm saying you in the general term, you lame motherfuckers polluting this planet. You want the same shit over and over again. I see it on Twitter all the time. 5 times a day, somebody's like, hey, which series is better? Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. I think we've already decided that, all right?
Yeah.
And it gets tons of responses. I'm weaving gold constantly. Crickets. People want shit they fucking have already seen before, and they can already predict what's going to happen.
So we'll bring this back to the original, and I had to go and look at the critical response of both movies. I'll just go ahead and throw this out there right away. Roger Ebert gave a half-star more to the modern mechanic, Statham mechanic, than he did the original mechanic.
I think the cancer probably went to his brain.
The cancer had to be riddling his brain, or maybe he was getting blown while the second mechanic was on, so he had a better time. Because it's like, there is no way that the 2011 mechanic is better, more enjoyable than the original. Maybe he had a thing against Bronson or Jan Michael Vincent.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way I see this. And so people were slamming the original mechanic because they're like, Michael Weiner went too far with the action. It's like, it's also a convoluted plot. And
can I point something out? Bronson mechanic, PG. 2011 R. Yet somehow Bronson's was more brutal, more intense, and better.
Yes.
PG.
Also, we could probably name several different scenes from the Bronson movie that were fucking good.
Yeah.
Name a scene from this movie you enjoyed.
If we didn't have the notes, and I watched it last night,
yeah,
I wouldn't
Nothing.
fucking know. I would be like, what?
On my second viewing of 2011 Mechanic, I said there's one scene that's kind of okay, and that was the fight scene between Burke and Steven. Kind of okay. It was not necessary. It made no sense. It's brutal as fuck, which was kind of cool, but it sucked. It should have been in there.
The reboot basically let's take everything that was interesting about the Bronson one and remove that.
Yeah.
And make this as boring as possible.
Right.
There's nothing memorable. It's like the most generic fucking action movie I've ever seen.
And it would be fine to be another generic action movie, but they said, hey, we're going to make another mechanic movie. And we've established that the mechanic movie is a fucking psychopath who is like meticulous about details, complete loner, sad sack of a human being. Bronson and that sad face of his, perfect. And, then you have Steven come in and you think, oh, this is a beautiful boy who's got all these friends. He's a partier. And you find out he's even more of a shell of a human being. He's got all this love surrounding him, and he fucking rejects all that. They watch a girl cut herself and nearly die, and we spend 10 minutes watching that. That's fucking brutal. This movie spends 10 minutes of fucking Steven rolling a joint in his car and getting hit, assaulted by, it's awful.
It's First of all, I want to talk about Jason Statham for a second. I want to like Jason Statham.
I want to.
He's got a great look. He looks like a genuine. He's like Bronson. He looks like he's been in a fight in his life.
Yes.
Unlike a lot of these pretty boy fucking action heroes. But he just does shit. And we were talking right before we started recording. He was born at the wrong time.
Yes.
I think he would have been a huge star in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And now and what else irritates me about this movie? They want their cake and eat it too. Like, the great thing about Bronson's was there was this moral ambiguity. Like, yeah, they want you to root for Bronson, but he's still a psycho. He still kills people for money.
Right.
Not this one. He kills only bad people.
Yeah.
And to even let you know how bad these people are, not only do they bad things, they're almost always a sex offender on top of that.
Right.
They just throw that in to let you know these guys are really bad. They deserve to be killed.
Right. We can't have that ambiguity in our life. We can't have somebody, it's like, oh shit, that was a good person that he just killed. They left that out of the original movie, and that was way better for it. When the whole kill order comes in for Harry, she's like, okay, this is my job. This is what I'm going to do. Like, the disconnect from human life is what makes that so good.
Right.
This movie, it's like, no, let's connect to every human being. Let's go get a chihuahua. It needs to be under a year old. Let's get the oldest fucking chihuahua in this goddamn... Did that chihuahua not look like it was 50?
In dog years, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then oh, God. Okay, so again, the first 16 minutes of the original was no dialogue.
We get 4 minutes in this one of no dialogue.
Yeah. And the kill was so fucking stupid.
Yeah. All the kills are stupid. Because I can't believe that people said you reviewed the original mechanic, and they said that movie was convoluted. Every kill in this fucking movie is so fucking convoluted.
Right. They don't go for any kind of simplicity. They don't go for any kind of, like, you know... oh, God, I don't know how to say it, but it's like everything was so fucking wonky. You don't get to see him, like, really slaving over the details and all that like we get to see Bronson do. Statham just, like, runs into every situation. And then when he goes to train Steven, you're like, what is he going to train him? We haven't seen him do anything. Right. And so when Steven's a fucking nightmare, you're like, well, this is also Arthur.
And for a guy who's always prepared, luck plays a lot in this movie.
Nothing but luck.
This happens to be what he needs there at the right time.
Nothing but luck. See, you said it a minute ago. Jason Statham, if he was in that 70s, 80s, early 90s, not face-off 90s, definitely not that era, he could have been great. I could see him getting in bar fights. I could see him, like, waving a hot dog at somebody. He's in the same category as,
like, Bruce Willis. Like, he doesn't look like a total, like, you look at him and go, I can maybe take that guy.
Yeah.
He's an everyman type guy.
Yeah, exactly. He would have worked really well for that. I wish he would enunciate a little more instead of doing gravel voice all the time.
He's got to do that.
But, again, that plays into modern action. It's just fucking shit. Too many quick cuts. Simon West directed this.
Yeah, this is 2 times in 3 weeks we've done it. We've never even heard of Simon West until 3 weeks ago. And I guess the best thing I could say about Simon West, workmanlike. That's his style. Like, he gets it out. Like technically, there's nothing wrong with this movie. I mean, it's not Neil Breen leveled. I mean, he can direct a movie.
Yeah,
it's just forgettable. It's it's like fucking beige. It's the color of beige in a movie.
If they didn't attach to the name mechanic and try to say, like, hey, we're taking everything from the mechanic, but they fucking washed all that away. It's like the most diluted version of the mechanic ever. This could be another mediocre action movie, but no. Right. They said we're making the mechanic, and they did not make the mechanic. They made some shit action movie.
And by the way, can we stop doing this? Because for every, like, reboot that's a success, there's 100 that fail miserably.
Ghostbusters being the case of one of the best remakes ever done.
Yes. Which one? The all-female one or the one that came out last year?
Both. They're just so good. Like, talk about getting your cake and eating it, too. They're both just so good. More Ghostbusters content, please.
I'm holding out for the all-black one done by Jordan Peele. But
that one might actually be good.
Yeah, with a token white guy, that would be good.
I mean, Jordan Peele's done good movies, so he might actually do it.
Yeah, I just fucking hate like, I don't know if this does a success. We'll keep doing the compare and contrast episodes, but it's got to be a success.
Yeah,
it's rough watching these fucking modern.
I mean,
action.
We got lucky that it was 90 minutes.
Yes, that's the one thing it has. It's 6 minutes shorter than the original. That's the only thing it has above the original.
We got to see that Simon West does have his cliches. He loves trapping cars. Yes. That's his thing. We saw it in Con Air where they grounded just so we could have a car trap scene because he needs that. Yes. Talk about the microwave timing that happened there. Like, so much of
and everything they needed just happened to be there at the same time because they were working. The plan went to shit, so they were working on the fly.
You said it, luck.
Yes,
there is nothing but luck in this movie. You don't get like, oh, I'm gonna make this guy run and have a heart attack. Nope, you get none of that. You just get luck everywhere. Everywhere luck. Fuck, I hate this. And
if you didn't see that, the only homage they had to the original was the secret wall that opens up, and he's got the poster board where he can pin shit up. You wouldn't even know he plans for anything.
Right. They tried to do that. They were like, hey, that's good. We can get that scene over in 1 second. And, they showed it, and it worked because it's a good scene. You're trying to show off that this guy some super secret killer. And he even said it's a Jason Statham monologue. He was talking about how, my kills are my favorite kills are the ones where no one knows you even were there. But all of his kills are like, yeah, someone clearly murdered this man. Like every one of them.
A guy swimming in his pool drowns.
Fucking Christ, that was so... And he had to do the paddling. God, I was like...
That's the murkiest indoor pool. It's like the Addams Family pool. Like, what the fuck? Why was it so murky?
Well, Murray, I was trying to get this over a while ago where I was saying that whenever Americans film anything that's supposed to be south of the border, they like fog the camera lens. That was a south of the border scene, so...
They had the yellow filter on
the exterior was the yellow filter, and then they went in the pool, and that also got a filter. Not the pool filter.
Stop with the filters, too. I hate that.
Why... You can tell us it's Mexico, and we know it's gonna look like the world, like blue skies and shit. God, I fucking hate Simon West. Oh boy, what else did he do that's classic Simon West? Driving a vehicle through another vehicle. That was another thing he did twice.
I don't know. I gotta go back. Con Air was so forgettable too. I can't even remember what the fuck he does.
Right.
Because, like I said, he's the best thing I can give Simon West workmanlike. He can start a movie and finish it.
So we went from a movie with two complete empty psychopaths that you kind of cheered for in a way.
I don't think everyone was supposed to cheer for Steve. He was always a douche.
Steve was always a douche. But when he started to look up to Bronson, you're like, hey, maybe there's some hope for him after all. Maybe you can channel like Dexter, maybe he could channel his murderous instincts into something good.
Right.
Or I guess...
I think that's what Arthur Bishop saw in him. He was like, maybe I found a kindred spirit. Maybe when he was young, he had those same feelings, and he channeled it into being a mechanic, and he's like, I could do that for him. Right.
So, of course, that turned into a gay thing in the 70s, but, I mean, when we watched it, we're just like, no, it's like, he didn't have a father, Bronson's old enough to be his dad, match made in heaven.
Yeah. Well, society has issues for some reason with close male friendships for some reason. They always got to make it gay for some reason.
This movie had a problem with the gays as well, but it went the other way where gays are bad guys. So, good job, 2011. Simon West, we were complimenting you. You had the character that identified as a woman, and you did a great job with that. But this movie, they're just like, nope, gays are bad.
So we should just get this out of the way. Get it over with.
Yep. If you haven't squeezed all the juice out of us yet, hate juice. That's what I meant to say. There's plenty more pulp to go.
Yeah. Hope you like it pulpy. Here's a trailer for the reboot of the great Charles Bronson movie, The Mechanic, starring Jason Statham.
Strangers to love, you know the rules, and so do I. I feel commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run.
Welcome back.
You just got Rickrolled.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Because one of Simon West's first jobs as a director was doing the classic Rick Astley video for Never Gonna Give You Up, Never Gonna Let You Down. So you got Rickrolled. We feel like we got Rickrolled for 90 minutes watching this movie.
Definitely got Rickrolled for 90 minutes. Why couldn't he just stick to Rick Astley music videos?
Yeah, just stay in your wheelhouse.
Simon. In your wheelhouse.
Simon says, do Rick Astley.
All right, Murray. So as we talked, holy shit! Oh, it's not front and back. I was like, how did we end up with?
My printer's on the fritz. It's really getting on my nerves.
Ah, fuck, man. Sorry to hear it. All right, everybody, here we are. We're going into the fucking... Oh, my God.
We're trying to make you think about the first classic 16 minutes of Bronson's with 4 minutes of Statham.
Yep.
So like you said, we get that yellow filter to let us know it's Mexico.
Yep.
The air is filthy down there.
And we got to set up... We're setting up a bad guy right away.
Yeah.
The first movie, let's remember, just an old sleepy guy.
Yeah, we don't know if he was good or he could have been a guy who just witnessed a crime and was going to, like, you know,
Yeah.
tell, you know, go to court.
Yeah.
And they had to get rid of him because, like I said, moral ambiguity.
No clue who he's killing. Looked like a very nice bloke. He drank tea, for fuck's sake.
Right.
English
He drank
tea.
books. He drank he read Aldous Huxley, remember?
That's right. Brave New World.
Yeah.
And now we've got a guy who's in Mexico. He's surrounded by guards. He's got a baby boy with him.
His
probably
car
gonna
has
fuck him.
hydraulics on it. They're going way overboard with the Mexican stereotypes.
Oh my God, so far.
Car horn. It was like, come on, people. We get it. We're in Mexico. We see the filter.
Yeah,
we get it.
He climbs out of his car. It looked like a Kid Rock music video. He's got the prostitutes hopping
He's
out
got the
too.
mariachi outfit. He goes, yeehaw, yeehaw. And he's like shooting guns up. We get it, right? Like I said, we saw the yellow filter. We know Mexico. We see
Yeah.
yellow filter, Mexico. We know that.
And Simon West was like, we need everybody to understand these are very bad people.
Right.
So-
Because our hero only kills bad people.
Exactly. So guards everywhere. He's escorted 10 feet from his car into his house, his big old palatial estate, you know, big mansion and everything. So big, he's got an Olympic-sized pool in his house.
The filthiest Olympic-sized pool I've ever seen.
Well, you got to filter the pool too, because you don't want people to be confused. Like he took a teleporter to another place.
He's in the Addams Family pool.
Yeah.
And it's as murky as all hell because it needs to be murky because we need maybe the mechanic made it murky. Maybe he snuck in there, put some algae in there, took out the chlorine.
You know, that might have been a good idea, like to set up
like 3 months earlier because he hasn't been living in this house because he's been doing evil shit in other parts of the world.
Yep.
So this is his like side house, and he's like, he made sure the pool guys never came for those 3 weeks. So all that fucking algae started growing.
So this is a really fucking big room. It's 2 stories. You got guards walking a balcony that overlooks the pool. You got guards down on poolside. You got a lifeguard tower with the lifeguard in it.
Right.
He's got his his whistle in his mouth. He's just staring down at the guy. Mitch Buchanan, and he's getting ready to fucking.
He's down there looking for Mazarthas because they migrated down to Mexico.
Right. You got to be careful about the Zagartha. Zagartha. I fucked it up in a whole new way this week.
So the guy's got to get his laps in, so he's a swimming, and then he noticed something. I thought it was a time bomb. What were we looking at? Were we looking at his snorkel? What the fuck were we looking at? Because he sees something on the bottom of his pool.
I don't even remember.
I thought it was a time bomb because it looked like a little dial type thing.
So it was our bad guy here who saw a thing and then he swam to it. Is that what happened?
He went to investigate.
Forgettable. Don't even. I remember this 16-minute scene with no dialogue. I don't remember this 4-minute fucking scene.
Right. And it turns out it's the mechanic, Arthur Bishop, and he grabs the guy, puts him in a chokehold. He's like, he's underwater. You don't need to put him in a chokehold. He's double killing him.
Yeah.
And kills him. But he's like, I got to cover up my what I'm doing because I'm surrounded by guards. So I'm going to swim. I'm going to be underneath him, moving his body like a puppet.
Yes.
John Malkoviching him. And it's the perfect crime. They don't notice anything.
So I was talking about how there's guards up on the balcony. Even Mitch Buchanan, right fucking there, doesn't even tell what's going on. He's just like, that's a good front stroke you got there. Or was it a breaststroke? I can't remember.
It was a butterfly.
It was a That's incredible. You know what? We don't give Jason Statham, Simon West enough credit here. Right. He had that man doing a butterfly underneath him.
Jason Statham was a competitive diver, so he knows his swimming.
No shit.
Yeah,
Okay. So they all look down. They're like, that's our boss. Getting those laps in. He's inspiring. I work out. I keep my body healthy because my boss.
I don't know how he got out of the pool, though.
Oh, he just got out. What are you talking about?
Why'd he go through the whole thing of the...
There's a whole fucking scene in Arrested Development where they're like, we're supposed to switch out the coolers. And he's like, what's the point of switching out the coolers? They're going to look in the cooler when they realize the hostage is gone. And they're like, well, it might buy us like a second. He's like, well, okay, let's go back and switch out the cooler for 1 second so your ego can be filleted. That's what they're doing here. It's like, what's the point of this fucking swim scene? He's still got to get out in front of everybody. And he does
In a
it.
frogman suit. Yeah, he got full scuba gear on.
And then he runs into a closet, switches.
Which is hard because he's wearing flippers.
Flippers! You hit a smack on the fucking poolside. No running. You can't run along a poolside because you'll slip and fall. Even
And he prepared so much, Griff. He made sure to eat an hour before swimming because half hour cramp. Yeah,
that was nice of them. At least they gave us that detail of him eating a
He actually has like a
sandwich.
timer, like on his watch. Don't spin it out. I can swim now.
Microwave timing. You got to be careful about that shit. So now we're going into a closet where he happened to store a uniform. So he's going to dress up to look like one of the staff. Because again, this is a big mansion.
Because in Mexico, they hire white people to do their cleaning.
Exactly.
It's like Bizarro World.
Yep, exactly.
And he just walks out. The alarms go off. They finally notice. He's like, "Good dead man's float, boss." Oh shit, he's really. And like, you notice how nobody, when they find the guy, they don't even attempt to resuscitate him. They're like, he's dead. I'm not.
No, they immediately go, something's up. So Jason Statham's job, where he stated, "I want to kill a guy," so nobody thinks that he died. You know, like the original Mechanic, you would expect like, "Oh shit, there was an accident," something like that. Everybody's like, "He was murdered."
No, because they show a news clip later. He drowned in his pool. He got away with it. I don't know how.
Wait, so we see on hand, they're like, he got murdered, sound the alarm.
Yeah.
But then they reported to the paper, oh, he just drowned in his pool?
This movie's garbage, yes.
So
we're just 4 minutes in and fuck this movie.
So it looked like this guy lived in the middle of a desert. Like,
yeah, Mexico is all desert. We know that.
Exactly. Secluded.
Yellow filter, yeah.
Jason Statham walks out the front door. I don't even want to call him Arthur because he's not Arthur Bishop. He is Statham.
His whore doesn't want to either, which we'll learn later on.
Oh, boy.
But, yeah.
That was such a fucking stupid scene. Turn like a serious loner moment, like pathetic, sad moment, into a funny moment. Good job. That's modern writing for you. But yeah, he gets out the door. We're miles away from civilization from all we can tell. He switches back into action gear, walks, and suddenly there's a bridge there.
Right.
And I don't remember if I said this on mic or not. This is Statham trying to be Bond. He wanted to be James Bond.
Because and you're absolutely right, because I think this is Simon West wanting him to be Bond, because he wants to do a Bond movie, because there's a recurring motif they play when he's doing action shit. It sounds reminiscent of ding 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 ding. So they want you to think that.
And they even structured it like a Bond movie, because Bond starts with the cold opening with the big action scene, and he has to escape, and then he does like a daring thing. There's GoldenEye even did like jump over the dam, and he had to get to the bridge and jump off. So I wonder if we actually knew what GoldenEye, how that was structured, if this movie is just taking some parts out of GoldenEye and putting state on them.
Then why don't they just remake it and call it GoldenEye instead of ruining the Mechanic?
Because, I don't know.
Called Silver Eye or some shit.
So he jumps over, lands in the water.
He's a perfectly timed boat that's tugging along, carrying like a rubber raft with a... He jumps down. I thought he was going to parachute down because he had a parachute on.
He had a lot of equipment. I couldn't figure out what was going on.
He jumps in the little boat that's being hauled by the big boat, and he just takes off.
Yeah, he hitches a ride. So it was like, because I thought that was an accomplice of his, but he
I think it was accomplice.
He grabs onto the back of the boat. If it was an accomplice, I feel like they would have showed it, and the guy would have saluted at him or something. But we don't see any interaction between these two. So again, first Mechanic. Total fucking nobody, doesn't relate to anybody. Arthur, that is. Statham in this movie has all kinds of nice acquaintances.
He enjoys his life.
He is having the time of his life. Right. He's having so much fun.
Right. He has no angst about what he does. He's just he only kills bad people. Right. So why should he?
Right. He gets the fulfillment of being I'm helping cleanse the world of horrible human beings.
Right. So now, where does he live? Nolans, of course.
Of course.
So he's back on a bayou.
Sorry, everybody. No Matt Hunters in this movie. You don't see him driving a fan boat around.
No Chance Bordeaux. No. Nobody takes a chance in this one.
No one takes a chance. My mama took a chance.
He keeps a little speedboat under the docks because he lives way out in the bayou.
Yes.
He's got to go by boat to get there.
Yeah, there's a nice scene where you actually see him look out over his swampy lake, and you can see Matt Hunter doing a little fucking axe.
Right.
It couldn't have been Matt Hunter, though, but that was the motif they were going for.
And, of course, he's got to have a a black guy friend, an old black guy that teaches him about life.
He's got
he's a hobo, but he knows he has so much wisdom.
Exactly. Yeah. He's a magic hobo, man. He's got all kinds of the wisdom.
Horrible alcoholic and has wisdom.
He speaks in idioms and all that and riddles, and it's fun.
And he guards his boat for him.
He's also got that beautiful, like, reclining chair. It's like, how did you get it here? Because, of course, Michigan, we got about 90% humidity in the summer. It's awful. Right. New Orleans is supposed to be even worse. It's supposed to be triple that. And he's got this fucking fabric.
It's 270% humidity.
Exactly.
You breathe underwater, basically.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's how he got away with that swimming scene.
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense. But yeah, how does that recliner? I mean, it's all taped up. The recliner is probably one of my favorite characters in this movie. It had the most character out of anybody.
It had the arc that it went through was
the depth to that chair. Yeah. It's perfect.
And he's got a bottle of scotch that he hands over because that's what the black guy loves. He's sleeping. He should be guarding that fucking boat.
Yeah.
Which is it's like a fucking rowboat with a fucking motor on it.
Well, he was guarding the other boat, too. The boat that later we'll learn that Statham wants to buy. Even though he's got all the money in the world, he could buy the boat. So I don't get what that was supposed to be about.
Heads home. He's got the palatial estate. It was actually an ugly looking house, I thought. And he's got the big deck. You got to have the deck.
Well, yeah.
And they make him even worse. He's a vinyl snob. Fucking Arthur Bishop Bronson just had the cassettes, just put them in. He had a gigantic fucking tape deck. But
yeah.
No, he's like, and to show what a snob he is, he has to wipe down the vinyl.
This is, again, the details, the meticulousness. We get meticulousness here with the vinyl, handling and all that. Right. He's got like jewel case set up and everything. He's got it underlit. He's got the RGB cycle color. It's so fucking annoying. And yes, as a vinyl collector, it's like, I get it. I'm annoying, but this guy.
How many grams is that, man?
Oh, Jesus. Is that 44 grams? Bullshit. This is like a wafer.
And then we get the nice voiceover where he explains, I'm a mechanic. I like to kill people, but the best thing is to make it look like an accident. Sometimes I'll make it look like someone else did. And we're just like, wow, he's such a badass. He's such a badass.
We do get the board reveal. This is another thing they actually remembered to put in this movie. Right. The board. So Arthur, of course, always listening to the music, looked at the board.
He has a potbelly stove, always stoked, waiting there just to destroy his evidence, because that's what he does. He takes the evidence off the board, puts it in his potbelly stove. It's specifically there just to destroy evidence.
Yeah.
And then next day, heads off to Denny's to meet up with his buddy Harry to get the next mission.
Yep. Remember last time, original mechanic, we met at Harry's big old mansion and everything, and he was called out there. Harry's like, hey, I need a personal favor done. Actually, was the original first mission for Harry?
No, Harry was just like, he was friends with his dad, and he was like, hey, I'm in trouble. Can you do something?
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is actually like he was doing a job with Harry, it seemed like.
In the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Harry's like one of his liaisons.
Yeah.
He trained him, yeah.
Yeah. So they're meeting at Denny's. They're having
because everybody's got to be sympathetic. Harry in the first movie is a fucking douchebag. He's actually laughing. Remember that time your dad almost killed you swimming? Yeah. That was funny.
They did a good job of making him a weasel right off the bat. Like, you were nervous about him. Bronson was nervous about him. And then you have that scene where he laughs about how his dad almost killed him.
Yeah.
And then you have Steve come into the picture, and Steve's like, my dad is a fucking prick.
Yeah, my dad he's bitching about me asking for money that he gets from taking from people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. They set up Harry so well. In this movie, he's like, did you need some cream in your coffee? I noticed your eggs didn't come out perfect. Did you want my eggs? Like, he's a sweetheart. He's got long...
Well, on top of it, he's in a wheelchair, making him even more sympathetic.
Come the fuck on.
Donald Sutherland plays Harry in this one. The father of Kiefer. And he's just like, Harry, I'm worried about you. Hey, get my Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity. Because they're at Denny's. He loves Denny's. Like, why are we always in a Denny's? It's got the best fucking coffee.
That is what they say about Denny's. Everybody.
This is the gourmet shit. So He's just like, Harry's just like, dude, you got bags there. I'm worried about you. You need some friends. You need to get I'm all right. What's the next mission?
You're the best friend a guy could ever have. If I'm your friend. What is this accent? If I'm your friend, then you need some friends. Thanks, Harry. What a fucking line.
What's going on with your son, Steve? Oh, he's a douchebag. You know, he just doesn't understand me. He's not. I wish you could be my son, Art. Yeah, so do I.
You should probably call him or something.
He's like, no, I'm not even going to do that. He's such a reprobate. He's such a piece of shit. He bombed out a fucking military. That job I got him, security something or other, fucked it up, got fired.
So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit here because Harry's right. His son is a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
His son sucks. He's got a fucking goatee. Fuck this
In 2011, he has a goatee.
Fuck this
92,
guy.
you can kind of get away with it. 2011, no.
If you're a sports fan and you happen to go on the East Coast and you know this person who's like, I'm a Celtics fan because I grew up and the Celtics were good. Also, I'm a Yankees fan because I grew up and the Yankees were good.
And also, I'm a Cowboy fan.
Because of what? I grew up, the Cowboys were the team. That is Steve in this movie. He is the most reprehensible. Fuck this guy. Fuck his goatee. Fuck
goatee
his,
says it all, right?
Fuck
there.
his little newsboy cap that he's always wearing. He fucking sucks. He is no Jan Michael Vincent.
No.
You could have replaced him with Jan Michael Vincent shit, and I would have been happier.
You could have replaced him with Airwolf Jan Michael Vincent, and I would have been happy with that.
I wanted to say, go ahead and replace him with Ginty, and I'd be happier.
Wow. Ben Foster, you heard that.
Yeah, you heard that.
He's not that bad. He was in, I want to recommend, this is a horrible movie for Ben Foster. He was in a great movie called Hell or High Water with Jeff Bridges. Came out about 5 years ago.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
You checked it out.
It was better? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't blame Ben Foster, but this fucking Steve was awful.
Yes. He was
Anyways,
horrible.
we got to see the horrible loner, the man who just can't relate to people. He can't get the life he wants because he's so into the underworld of killing people. Arthur's got a split for, a nice we're in NOLA.
Right.
So we got to go Nolans. So we got to go to a nice honky tonk
and look for some flat ass badonkadonk. And boy, do we get it.
Oh, God.
He's just chilling. We see this girl, no curves at all, doing a little white girl dance for him.
She's got the tightest pants on to show off her
Blues
skeleton.
Travelers playing in the background. Oh, you wanna give it a run around.
I couldn't wait because they were starting to build up. I heard the rumors. I heard everyone murmuring, Steven Seagal's here. The sensei's here. He's going to do a set. But yeah, she's got the tightest jeans on and, pulled up way over her waist.
Daisy Dukes?
You could see her skeletal outline because she's just the skeleton of a human.
Right.
And he's looking at that and he's leaning back. He's like, oh, I love these Americans.
Jason Statham would be great in the 80s. Her ass would have been great in the 80s.
That's
how
right.
flat it was.
That's right. Well, we did learn. I mean,
I already saw some pancakes at the Denny scene earlier. Now I'm getting a pancake ass right here.
well, that's good. I like what you did there.
But he's just like, and we're like, oh, this is his girlfriend. Of course, he's beautiful. He's got life by the tail.
I don't like how you did that. That was awful because she did have her thong pulled up. The whale tail was activated.
Did she? I didn't even notice that.
Oh, God. Well, it was hard to notice because it just... But he's leaning back. He's enjoying the show, and she's coming over, and she's like, I see a room full of nobodies, and I see you. And he's like, oh, yeah, I think that'll do. She wants him to dance. They fucking dance, but then they go to do the real dance.
Right. We get a fucktage, which was as fucking exciting as the rest of this movie. It was boring as shit watching them fuck. Then they get done fucking. They're watching like Judge Wapner or some shit, and she's like, I gotta take a piss. Gets up. We get the nice flat ass shot of her. I thought it was like a fucking little boy, like they put in there. And then we find out they're not in a relationship.
Yeah.
This is like, well, they're in a relationship, but not in a loving relationship.
Right.
It's about money.
Right.
He gets up, he gets dressed, throws down like a wad of hundreds for
Why?
that flat ass.
Yeah.
Bronson paid $100 and she wrote a fucking letter for him.
So let's talk about that, too.
Yeah.
Because this woman, she's like getting up. She's like, I gotta take a piss, but I'm gonna make some food. Do you want some food? I don't care for sandwiches.
I only eat at Denny's. The coffee is fucking great. So that's going to be a fucking running gig. Guys, for the next month, all you're going to hear is me talk about Denny's references. But,
We only like restaurants with two N's in it. Vinny's, Denny's, Gladys. Wait, that didn't have it. Glenny's.
yeah.
God damn it. But so
Yeah, she's a prostitute who wants him to stay. This is like how perfect his life is.
yeah, she wants him to stay. She wants to know more about him. He's also a person for hire. So it's like maybe this will work out. They're not like super emotional about all this shit. But no, it's like, I gotta be a badass and leave out the front door. Denny's is open 24. I gotta go get me a cup of Joe.
And she's like, Joe, is that your name? It's Arthur. You're not an Arthur. And you're right, you're not an Arthur, motherfucker, because Charles Bronson is an Arthur.
I like it. That was Simon West
Right.
nodding like,
Right.
hey, I realize I'm making a shit movie here, so we're gonna just say it right here. He's not Arthur.
Right.
Because he isn't.
You're more of a David or a Brad.
Brad.
Yeah. And like your hookers, they know. They can read people. They can read eyes.
Right.
Index. And I'm like, he is a Brad. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
He's a total Brad.
So, again, we went from Bronson's complete, like, paying her to write him letters so we can feel, loved
Wanted,
and wanted and all that, to this guy who's just got to be a badass.
Right. This guy who she wants him to stay. And he's like, no, I got to go. The siren called Denny's.
So after a quick trip to Denny's, because he's sipping the cup as he's driving here.
He's got the tiny Kojak cup.
So I love the Kojak cup, man. That's the best. And he's throwing it all over the place. He's got fucking God damn it,
Stavros
coming over to clean up his place in a Mattingly outfit. But okay, so again, so much cooler in the original. Bronson gets like cryptic calls and everything on a special phone and all that. How does Statham get his jobs? He goes on the dark web, a.k.a. Ask fucking Jeeves. What the fuck? Jeeves.
Did they have a fucking deal with Ask Jeeves? Why would he even use Ask Jeeves?
This is why I hear people say, like, I was listening.
Not even GoDaddy. It's
Not even
fucking
GoDaddy. Ask Jeeves. And this is why I have a hard time watching modern movies, because it has modern shit like plugged into it, and it just bothers me. That's why I like reading old sci-fi and watching older movies.
Yeah, in the old days, you could everything that'd be product placement. They'd make up a site.
Exactly. But
Right.
no, ask fucking Jeeves. And he literally Googles, like, murder for hire. This is as bad. What was the Octagon? I think it was the Octagon when Chuck Norris is looking for work and he finds
Soldier of Fortune magazine. Yeah.
he finds like needed soldier in a fortune for hire.
Yeah.
Damn it, mercenary for hire. That's what the ad read. That's on the Instagram that I haven't posted on 7 years for. Fuck. So Ask Jeeves, everybody. Oh.
And he finds out there's a contract out for Harry. And he's like, well, that doesn't sound right. I just had coffee with him earlier. So he calls up his man, Mr. Dean, his boss. We don't know we were just talking. I assumed he worked for the secret government agency, but we don't really know. They never really tell you. We just know a guy in a suit.
Yeah.
So it's another of these John Wick bullshit, mysterious assassination guilds, like horse, like Bronson just worked for the mob. It was simple.
They tried to stretch it out real far too, because they were even doing a thing where there's like so many people in this web, and it's like he said, I'm a a mechanic, and there's like other mechanics and everything, but we weren't worried about that. We were worried about our guy. Right. And then taking on Steve. This, it's like, oh, there's this whole web. So I said that mechanic was like John Wick. This mechanic is definitely trying to do like the John Wick thing. They're trying to stretch it a lot further.
Right. So he sets up a meeting with his boss, Mr. Dean, who's very busy. You can only see him for 15 minutes.
Yeah, and he can get right through to the guy. Like, there was no hoops to jump through. For this secret organization that's murdering people, it's just like 1-to-1. You think it would have been like you had to work through a whole circle. I feel like that's how it worked in the original mechanic, is like he couldn't contact them, but they could contact him.
Yeah.
So in this one, he's just like, no, I can just get him on the phone.
Right.
I can get a meeting tomorrow.
But only 15 minutes.
But only 15 minutes.
So he flies into the secret meeting, Mr. Dean, and they're on the airstrip. He's like, he's talking with his daughter. He's doing the art of the deal with his daughter, shutting her down because she wants to have a slumber party. Yeah. And he's like, you can only have Faygo. You can't have the prime pop. And you can see this guy's powerful. He's hustling his own daughter. And then he gets out and he's like, what's going on with this Harry thing?
Well, there was a big mission in South America.
South Africa.
That's not even real. South Africa's fake. So it took us months to get this together because I don't know if you've heard this, but South Africa is actually real. It's there.
Right.
Yeah. So we had this whole mission. We sent 5 of our very best guys.
You might recognize one of them.
Yeah. And he shows off a dossier, and there's a terribly photoshopped picture of a guy with blood all over his head.
Right.
And Josh Wesley glasses.
He's like, I recognize him. I work for him on a job. And so he's like, so he falls for it. He recognizes, he sees a face, and he's recognized. So he's like, Harry must have been guilty. He's like, yeah. He's like, get this. We got some bank records here. $20 million was funneled into Harry. He's like, he's guilty. He's guilty.
Follow the money.
Exactly.
All you got to do, follow the money.
Because only 2 people knew about this mission. Me, and you got to trust me.
Yeah.
And Harry, who you've known your whole life. He's your mentor.
Right. And, I mean, I feel like they barely talked about it, but they were trying to say, you know about Harry and his gambling problems.
Was it gambling? All I know is he's deep in debt. They didn't explain really what the fuck it was.
Right, because he's a sympathetic character, so he doesn't have like a real flaw. They were just like, yeah, he's got a problem.
His medical issues, being in a wheelchair. That's why. Because he doesn't have. Because when you work for the government, you don't get fucking healthcare.
Good healthcare. Yeah, that makes sense. So he's like, his health problems. He's got to have someone help him poop. Steve's not doing it anymore for him.
Who's wiping his ass? That costs $100,000 a wipe. So he's like, I see why he needs that $10 million. And he's like, look, you got 48 hours, but if you don't do it, we'll send somebody who will.
Because Arthur was like, okay, I'll do it, but did he? I thought he wanted to talk to him first.
I don't think he wanted to. I thought he was just like, hey, either you do it or we get somebody else. Like, well, I think somebody should. If somebody's going to be killed, I think a friend should do it. I don't fucking know.
It's the old yeller, Yeah. I got to take my dog out.
Put the old dog out of its misery.
Yeah.
So our boy Harry, he's at his office, gets a call from Arthur. All right, now you're gonna want to. Did he explain that like there's a hit out on him? I don't even remember.
He did. You may recognize this scene. We already talked about the one scene that they stole from another movie. Oh wait, we didn't. We talked about that off mic. They steal a scene from Ace Ventura later on with the ring.
That is in the scene where he's talking to Mr. Dean. Because Mr. Dean has a bodyguard.
Yes. Oh, we almost missed it. Details. We're getting them. Nope, we're coming back. So Mr. Dean has a bodyguard, a big motherfucker. You're just like, this guy probably played football. Well, we don't know what sport he played, but Arthur notices his ring.
His championship ring.
Championship ring. He's like,
nice bling you got there. Yeah. He's like, how'd you get that? You got to earn this, motherfucker. And he just punches Art in the face, so it leaves the imprint on him.
That's right. Straight out of Ace Ventura. He was the third-string quarterback for the champion football team of Washington.
Okay.
So anyways, now we're going up to, this is straight out of 1997's The Matrix, because he calls him up and says, there's a hit on you, I've cut the power.
He tells him to cut the power.
Yeah.
Somehow he goes, grab a pair of scissors, and while he's doing that, Harry suspects something's going on. I don't think he said there's a hit. I don't know what was going on, but he grabs his gun.
He tells him there's a hit, and he needs to get him out, and he can get him out. He says, Dean's guys are on their way to get you.
Oh, okay.
So he's getting him into a panic, and he's like, you need to get out of there now. Grab some scissors.
Yes.
So it's MacGyver.
Yeah. But he also grabs his gun, and we see on the side of it, written in Latin, of course, is Icterive Ovle Reparation Pay. Which, of course, in Latin is victory loves preparation. We all know that. Because he has it on the other side in English, because we're too stupid to figure out the Latin on the one side.
And Simon West does flip the gun both ways so we can see it, because, like you said, we're too stupid.
Right.
I was trying to think of a Latin slogan the other day, and all I could come up with is pluribus unum.
So he's like, okay, he has his own like silver gun, whatever. So he wheels himself out. He's
It
like,
couldn't even be like a normal gun. It had to be something super fancy
Right.
with fucking etching.
well, because remember, this is modern storytelling, so we have to be spoon-fed everything. Guess what, guys? This gun's going to come into play later on. So he gets his gun, puts in his little knapsack, and then he's like, stick the fucking scissors into a light socket, and that's going to take out the whole building.
Now, I like this because this is a nod to elevator screwdriver logic.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
you just stick scissors in something.
And it won't hurt you at all either.
Right.
He's sitting in a metal chair, for fuck's sake.
Right. It's a good point. And, you know, he's like, how am I supposed to get on the elevators now? Because Statham the whole time is walking him through it like Morpheus did to Neo when he was getting out of the Matrix. And he's like, the service elevators work on a different power grid. God, come on. Are you this fucking stupid?
And not only that, it'll take you to a tunnel that takes you to the building next door's parking garage.
Yeah. There is a scene where the guy does have to go down some stairs, too.
Yes, very impressive.
Because he gets there and he's just like, what am I supposed to do? He's like, get down the fucking stairs.
Yeah, that was impressive wheelchair acting Don Sutherland was doing. So he finally makes it to the parking lot. And he sees his van, and he sees that
I thought it was supposed to be the neighboring parking lot.
it was.
And he parks next door, apparently.
Cheaper parking in the next door.
Oh,
So he
of
gets
course.
away with it.
He's like high up. He's doing stock shit. He's a Wolf of Wall Street. And he has to park next door for... That's the kind
I
of
thought you
cheap
saved your
guy.
money, yeah.
He's so cheap.
Right.
He heard Mr. Dean talking to his daughter about getting the Faygo instead of, you know, the fucking True Coke. And he's like, fuck yeah, man. That's how they became friends, probably.
Right. And we see the car's trashed. There's like wiring ripped out. You can't drive it.
And so Harry's figured it out. He's like, fuck. The squeeze is on. He turns and finds Arthur standing over him. And he's like, he spells out the whole thing because Harry's done this all before. He's like, oh, right. I get it. You're going to...
Taught him everything you know.
Yeah, you're going to kill me. You're going to throw my van like in the middle of nowhere, some junkie. Yeah. Everything whittles down to... Just destroy a car, put them in it, and put them in like a sketchy neighborhood, and they'll all think that the neighborhood killed them.
Well, that's because they would. So it's a perfect plan. So, yeah, he's resigned to his fate, but he pulls that gun out, and he shoots up his own van. He's like, I want to make it look like I put up a struggle because I'm Jesus. I'm going to sacrifice myself. So, because I know there's got to be a good reason why you're killing me. He's like, in fact, there is. You owe $20 million. Like, he has no reason to kill this guy. It's his fucking friend. What does he care if $20 million? What does he care about this guy he did a mercenary job
right.
with? Right.
He was happy that, you know, the guy he took under his wing was going to do it. But did he even ask why he was being killed?
I don't think so.
I don't think he did. Because he could have explained it and been like, what is this about? Oh, that's really fucked because, no, I didn't have any connection. Here's the transaction. No, there's none of that. And these two are actually friends in this. In the original mechanic, you'd be like, well, of course he's not going to listen to him. But in this mechanic, he even said it himself.
Well, he set it up that he didn't like Harry because Harry was laughing about the time he almost drowned.
Right, exactly. And then this one, he's like, you're my friend, Harry.
You're my father. He's like a father figure. He's like, you were the son I wish I had. And he's like, I'll kill you for $20 million that I don't even have, that you just allegedly stole.
So fucked. It was like, okay, again, he's supposed to be a loner guy, and he's worried about the 5 quote-unquote colleagues of his that got killed?
Right.
Like, I don't get this. They did a terrible job
They don't get it either. Because he does shoot. You know, another fucking thing I hated about this movie: CGI blood, and it's always black. This is an R-rated movie. Why can't they just show blood? Because he shoots Harry in the chest, and we just see black blood pool up on his shirt.
All right, it's so bad. Again, squibs. Everybody loves squibs. Get some squibs.
I fucking do. Let's get rid of these fucking. I mean, I understand why they do it because it's you can shoot multiple takes, and you know, with a squib you got to change the clothes and put another squib on. I get it, but it just looks so much better.
Right, and it's not. It doesn't take anything away. Like, especially for this scene, it would have been really easy to fucking just do it because you could have cut and done it. Because you know they love and they do it 1,000 times in this movie with action scenes and the cuts and cuts and cuts and cuts and cuts. Exactly. We can't just show you like they do these big stunts in this movie but they never show you the stunt actually happening. You're seeing it inside, and it's like all over, so it's super jarring. So it's like you don't get the full effect of any of the big stunts that cost them all the money.
No.
All right, so we got to go to the grave, of course.
Yeah, with the hugest fucking cemetery I've ever seen in my life. It's like miles long.
Yeah.
And it's in Nolan, so he's getting buried above ground because they can't bury people below ground in Nolan.
Exactly.
And he's the only person there. At least fucking Harry had some fucking friends in the original one,
Right.
And then there's this other guy, this little ratty looking motherfucker with his goatee.
I thought it was funny that they buried him with his wheelchair. I didn't think they did that for wheelchair bound people.
Well,
That's like his best friend, right?
They don't want because should be ashamed he was in a wheelchair.
No, he shouldn't be.
Well, that's why I said bury.
Well, it
me in my
depends.
wheelchair.
Depends on how we got put in the wheelchair. I'm surprised we didn't get a backstory on that. Maybe it's in the second movie.
I don't know because I'm never gonna watch it.
I'm never gonna watch that fucking shit. God damn it! All right, you said it. He's fucking guy. He's listening to the Celtics game on the goddamn radio. He's got it cranked up. Let's go.
You know who's really good? Bird. But because Magic was black, they said he was better. Bird's better, bro. And he's like, well, I don't even know what you're talking about. And he's like, hey man, got a cigarette? He's just total being
Yeah,
douche.
talking super loud in the back while the fuck everybody is like, what the fuck's with these people?
And he's like, you're not gonna believe this. I hitchhiked to my dad's funeral. I don't have a ride home. Can you give me a ride?
Yeah, because he notices that it's Arthur. So in
Yeah.
the first one, Steve kind of just like notices Arthur and is like, oh, this guy. Well, it's because he saw him the day before. And then there's the funeral, and then he sees him again. He's like, you're an interesting fellow. This one, he goes, Arthur fucking, what's his name? Bishop. And he's like, bro grabbing him. He's like, I gotta tell you, I'm losing 100 right now unless the fucking Celtics come back. Is that how they say it? Celtics?
Yeah, the Celtics.
The Celtics. And then he fucks off, and then he comes running back, knocking on the door. Can I get a ride, Mr. Bishop?
Yeah, I forgot. I don't have a car. Can you give me a ride to my palatial estate my dad lives in? It's like, oh, no, I think I can do that. This is the hugest fucking cemetery I've ever seen in my life. It's like big as a city.
Yeah.
And cause he's driving, you just see fucking tombstones go by. So they go to the mansion that Harry lived in. It's a mess because he's broke. He can't afford a cleaning lady anymore.
Yep.
He was just using like bed sheets to wipe his ass because he had to wipe his own ass.
Yeah,
And he's like, hey, here's a picture of my dad, like this glamour shot picture of his dad. He's like, do you want it?
yeah.
You know?
I figured you'd want a picture of my dad since you guys were such best friends and all. Like, you would never do anything to hurt my dad. You and my dad go way back.
Yeah, you were more of a son than I was.
Yeah.
You know?
So I just want you to have that. And so we're seeing that Steve is very self-destructive. He's like, I didn't get anything out of it. So in the other movie, of course, Steve got the house and everything,
Right.
and he was throwing big parties. He had the beach house, the main house.
Right.
And he was just like, I don't give a shit. I'm empty inside. This Steve is like, he didn't leave me anything. No money, no house, no car.
Well, he's like, you see that car? I'm going to try to sell it before the fucking repossessors come to take it.
Yeah, I could probably get like $5,000 for it and live off that for 5 years. And oh god, and he's just like got all the booze out. He's drinking hard, not in control of anything. Unlike our original Steve, who was just like in control but very fucking crazy. Right. So he's flipping out. He's like, you know what I think I'm gonna do tonight? He's dragging on a cigarette real hard, and then he's got pipes full of weed just like all around him. It was so goddamn stupid. It's so fucking bad. And he's just, I'm gonna go out and get carjacked and kill the guy, and maybe it'll be the guy who killed my dad. Who kills a man in a wheelchair? So he hates his dad, but he needs to go get vengeance for his dad.
Right. Because he's got to be good too, Griff. Everyone's got to be good deep down inside. It's like every Marvel fucking villain. They're all, even the Red Skull. He's like, well, you know, maybe a Jewish person kicked his dog when he was a kid. So there's always got to be some out for these people to represent. You know what? There's people who do reprehensible shit because they're just reprehensible people. And Steve's one of them.
Steve is completely reprehensible. He was reprehensible in the first movie, and it was kind of guised a little bit, but you quickly started to learn. In this movie, right after the fucking Celtics scene, you know this guy is a piece of
The
shit.
fact that he likes the Celtics just tells it to me he's a piece of garbage.
They're in New Orleans. All right? They're in New Orleans. They are nowhere close to Massachusetts, and he's a fucking Celtics fan. You know he's a piece of shit. God damn it. All right, so as promised, he's going on a bender. He's drinking heavily. He's smoking heavily. Literally picks up 4 different, like, hand-carved wooden pipes, and we're supposed to believe it's got weed in it.
Yeah, but then for some reason he starts smoking out of the Apple one that he made himself.
Well, he is trash. Yeah. You could tell by the goatee.
He's got a Faygo can, an Apple, and there's too much shit going on. You don't need that much shit for a fucking pipe.
Oh.
So he heads out to the ghetto.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting in that beautiful, he's like a Cadillac or some shit.
It was the Cadillac he was going to sell.
And he's rolling a joint, just waiting. Where's somebody with black skin? Where's somebody with black skin?
I laughed when I was like, oh my God, are they going to actually have like somebody come up? I was like, please tell me this is happening.
Of course they are.
Sure enough, a nervous black guy comes up. Hello, sir. I noticed you're in this neighborhood and you should probably leave. It's a dangerous neighborhood. Yeah, I think I'm going to stay for a little while.
You sounded like Jimmy from South Park. The black guy voice. Hello, sir. I know
Got a joke for you. Have you heard this one? Oh, so, yeah, he's like, my friend invited me out here, and he told me he lived at 444 Ship Avenue, but I don't see his house. Could you maybe help me out a little bit, man? And he's like, oh, I can help you. I'll help you out of that car. Freeze,
pulls out
motherfucker.
the tiny little fucking Willie Dynamite dick Derringer.
And he sticks it in past the window and, like, goes into Steve's nostril for some reason. Like, going really far with this gun.
Yeah, and then Steve all of a sudden pulls out some fucking ninja moves, disarms him, grabs the gun, pulls it out, starts beating the shit out of the guy, pistol whipping him, taking all his aggression out on him, and then he's about to kill him. He points that gun right at his face.
Did he ask him, like, hey, did you kill my dad? I did notice that Steve, he knows how to do this. He says, I'm standing my ground. I'm standing my ground.
Yeah.
I mean, he was standing his ground.
And just as he's about to shoot him, Arthur comes in. Now you don't want to do that. And he's like,
this is going to be the best day of your life. You might not get it, but it is.
Okay.
That's what he said. I don't know why he said it, but he said that. Because he saved him.
He said it to the black guy, or did he say it to Steve?
I don't know. Because he did save the black guy, but also is he trying to say, I just save you from making a mistake and killing this person? Even maybe Statham actually did the work, they just didn't show us. And although he was a carjacker, he was not a sex offender. So you can't kill that guy. You can't kill. They have to be a carjacker and a sex offender.
Right.
So this guy was clean. So he was telling him it's the luckiest day of his life.
So he tells Steve, who's high as fuck, drive home.
Drive home.
And then they just part ways. And then the next morning, Steve is like, I want to do it. I know what you're about.
Yeah.
All right.
So again, we'll flash back to the original mechanic. Steve gets the chance to hang out with Arthur. And the next morning, Arthur wakes up, looks out his window, and Steve's just parked outside in his driveway. And this one, Arthur is out going about his business, and Steve is driving by.
Shopping.
Yeah. Steve is driving by and jumps out of his car, leaves it in the street, jumps out, and just like, hey, man, I got to be like you. I want in. I'm so cool. You're so cool. It's going to be really fucking cool.
Like my newsboy cap. He's just like, yeah, you're the Celtics. They won pretty big last night. Oh, he's like,
no. At first, he plays it hard because he's like, oh yeah, you want in. All you gotta do is go to the dark web.
Go to dark web. Do your own research, love. He's like, no, I want to feel it. I've already read the books. I want to feel what it's like to kill somebody. Go home, lad. So before he heads home, Henry.
That's our he's old black guy.
Oh, because he stops. He parks his car. I guess he leaves his car in a parking lot by the docks when he's got to go and he gets in his speedboat. And Henry, is that the name, Henry?
Henry is
kindly old black man,
kindly old black
Barca lounger. And he's noticed there's this like yacht there, and he's just like, "Son, let me give you some hobo wisdom. You look like you're homesick. But you're homesick for a new life.
Yeah, you just got to follow this." And he's pointing to the wrong side of his chest, but he's trying to point to his heart.
He's drunk as fuck.
He's very
He's
drunk.
vomit all on him.
Oh yeah.
And so now this is the only time we see a moment of vulnerability to Arthur Bishop through the entire movie. It's not even that. It's a glimpse.
Yeah. Well, I think what happened was he was a little broken down because usually the homeless man's sleeping, and he told him about like how he needs to follow the opposite side of his heart and everything, and so he's thinking about that, and he's trying to take a sip of his Denny's, but he's like, oh, they got it wrong. This is just milk. This isn't coffee at all. So he's a little, everything's off right now.
Much like, that's why he pointed the opposite side of his heart, because that's off.
Everything's off. Everything's just slightly askew.
Right. So he heads home and he gives a call to Steve. That was when he heard that message from the wise wino, he's just like, I'm going to give Steve a shot.
I got to give him a shot.
So he calls him up, meet me tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, as he called him, he flipped on the television, and there was fucking the Celtics lighting up the scoreboard. And he's like, I got to call that kid who's a fan of the Celtics.
It's destiny. So they meet up. The first thing they do, they go to the old animal shelter. Because you can tell a lot about a person by the way they take care of an animal, Griff.
You can. And you could tell that Steve is the type of guy who would drown his pet.
He would just, like, he would get a pet as, like, a toy, and I'm bored with it, and just, like, chain it up outside and just let it starve to death.
Yeah, you hear the horrible fucking stories that people put like their pet in a trash bag and throw it on the freeway. That's Steve.
Right.
Yeah. Or he just leaves it chained up all the time.
Or is it? That's what Arthur's testing him with.
Right.
So he's like, you're gonna get a dog. They pick a Chihuahua.
Right. Well, oh my god, the setup for this is so fucking annoying because he's just like, you know, we gotta. Of course, Steve's like, let's just go ahead and kill people. We'll go beat people up and everything. He's like, that's a little harder than that. We gotta really think things through. We gotta set a plan and all that. And he's like, you know nothing about me. I'm a badass. And so then fucking Arthur has to rifle off everything about him. He goes down to like every detention he had in junior high. Right. He's like, you made your first apple Faygo bong in the 12th grade
class. Yeah.
Yep.
Your dick hangs to the left.
You walk with a limp.
Yeah, because you're such a badass. You didn't want to let on that you had broken kneecaps, and now you walk with a limp when it's rainy outside.
You don't drink coffee at Denny's.
Right.
We got to change that.
He's just like, you love it, mate. So he's like, he knows everything about Steve. And he's like, but do you know what a mechanic... This is the one callback we get, few callbacks we get to the original movie. You know what a mechanic is? It's like, yeah. He knows. It irritated me. He's like, yeah, it's a guy who kills people he fixes problems. Oh, shit, you do know.
Yeah.
Well, you know what a Chihuahua is? And then we go.
So he's like, okay, we got to find a dog that looks like this, and they don't reveal it to the camera. Right. And it needs to be...
Of course, we just heard what badasses there, so it's Pitbull. They're getting Pitbull.
Yeah, of course.
No.
But it's like, we hear that he needs to get a dog under a year old, and it's got to be this dog, and we get, and so we're expecting like some big intimidating dog or something. They get to the gate, and it's a fucking Chihuahua, and it looks like it's about 35 years old, and it's a big laugh. I hate that. I hate that about modern movies. Everything's got to lead up to a big little laugh. So it's funny. He's gonna get a Chihuahua. This guy who reckons himself a badass has to have a Chihuahua now.
So it's very Mr. Miyagi, because we're like, this makes no sense, but at the end of the day, it's gonna make perfect sense. His plan. He's like, you're gonna take care of that dog for 3 weeks. Not only that, you're gonna go to Denny's every day, every morning at 11 a.m. and you're gonna order the coffee
Black.
Don't let any milk near that. And then that's it. He's like, we don't know what else is going on. We learn what why he's doing it. But now it's just like, you just go there and you drink that hot Java up.
Have fun. Always leave $1 tip. Always ask for Sue. Never get the Grand Slam. You don't want that. You're not ready for that. We're going to work you into that. That's the end of the montage. You get the Grand Slam. Right. But until then, you get 2 silver dollar pancakes, 1 egg over easy, and you can have 1 piece of toast. And it has to be white. You're not ready for the wheat. You're not ready for it.
It's got to be strawberry jam on it.
It's strawberry jam. That's right. God, the details. We almost missed that one.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing they got back right from the last movie. details.
Right.
But it's about the fucking meal. It's not about any of the plan.
Right, exactly. Like, they try to do the mechanic thing, but they only did it with the breakfast order, which we do know about this Statham Bishop, is that that's the only thing he cares about, is his coffee.
Right.
Black coffee.
So we get a montage of them shooting machine guns and potty training the Chihuahua.
And again, this is such a far cry from the original mechanic where we spent so much time going over details, learning about people's patterns.
Like you said, they got to make it fun too. So he steps in some dog shit. We get a good laugh.
So fucking bad.
And they're shooting machine. They're like doing the white trash thing. They got in the middle of the woods and just shoot shit with machine guns.
Everything is about bigger and bigger and bigger guns. Like, as the montage went on, they're like using bigger rifles, hitting bigger cinder. Like, they started with little bricks and then they went up to cinder blocks.
Here's the thing. All right, it's very hard to fake a death by gun, like machine gun, but because in the next scene he gives him this booklet of all these ways people can die, like naturally, quote unquote.
It's an insurance guide.
Right.
Because he says the insurance industry knows every single way a human can die. Study it. And so what does fucking Steve do? The first thing he does goes shark bite. And he's like, oh, I could work out something with that.
Right. And then every kill from here on out is by machine gun. Like, they don't do any cool kills.
There's one non-machine gun kill.
Okay.
When they force this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. They still fucked that up, too.
Yeah, they completely...
So now the house has gotten foreclosed, so Steve's living with
Arthur immediately moves him in. Everything about this is so fucking wrong.
This is
wrong.
Like, did we ever mention that they have absolutely no chemistry as friends or anything in this movie?
Well, like we talked, I think I mentioned it where they were like, oh, the original mechanic is too homo positive. We can't have that. We can't have these two looking like they're gay for each other. They didn't. There was no romantic, like, anything.
I'm just talking
about
like friendship chemistry. They don't look like they would be friends with each other.
And I agree, but I feel like they were like, we have to be so careful about it in this movie. We can't let, like, they show us where Arthur's room is.
Is that what Roger Ebert hated about the original mechanic?
It might have been.
Too much homoeroticism.
They show Arthur's room, and then they do the fucking Godfather scene or whatever it was, where they do the one shot, and they walk all the way 45 minutes down to where Steve is sleeping, like in the third level basement. They're not even supposed to have basements in New Orleans.
Right. Well, yeah, his house is up on like stilts and shit.
Yeah.
Somebody has a basement.
But they were like showing how far apart they were, just to make sure that the audience knows these two don't like each other that much. They're barely even friends at all.
They literally had like the old sitcom thing where they had some tape that separated the room. Like, you can't cross this line.
Yeah. You cannot put on that Celtics game.
But we need some kind of bonding, and what's more of a macho way to bond than over working on a classic car? So we see our boy Statham. He's measuring a fucking axle. I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
He did it. Simon West was like, "Is it what are we doing here?"
He's measuring parts with a caliper, and then he's like, got the guy at the socket wrench, always putting in spark plugs.
Well, it just sounds good. The socket wrench, it's very satisfying. So I get that.
And he's like, "Wow, this car is fucking badass. When are we gonna take a ride?"
We never.
Right, because only homos ride together in a car.
Exactly. There might be some stick shift confusion. You might grab my penis. We might make out a little bit.
Right.
I've seen weirder shit happen at Denny's. You got to be careful.
Right. So he's like, you know what? I think we need to take it to the next level. So we're gonna meet with a contact of mine.
All right. Oh God, here's another scene. Why? Our guy, who is the most meticulous killer in all space and time,
right.
Dexter level, pays attention to every single fucking detail, walks up to this guy in his apartment, and he's some kind of dealer.
But he's living in an abandoned crack house.
Yeah.
He's like this guy who can get you anything.
Right. Weapons? Is that what they were after? Mm-hmm. It would make sense because Jason Statham has every single weapon in the world.
Right. So, and he's wearing like a bathrobe and all this shit. Like, what the fuck you Arthur, what's going on? He's like, got the money? Of course I got the money. And I got a list too. Well, give me the money first. The guy do the scene where he like flicks the money in his ear. Sounds about right.
I like that science though. I've been working on that. I've got like a big fold of bills and I just rifle through it and I try to guess.
And he's like, have you seen this hilarious YouTube video? Look, I can show it to you. And he's like clicking on Ask Jeeves. I don't know why he said YouTube. He's like, Ask Jeeves must have paid a lot of money to get in this movie. And just as he's about to, Arthur rips the fucking sash off his robe, starts strangling this motherfucker.
Meticulously. With all the details.
Steve just watching. He's like, I'm digging this.
Yeah.
And then he just hauls his body over to like the closet, strings him up.
Yup. Grabs the laptop, searches pornography.
Ask Jeeves for pornography.
Gay pornography. Ask Jeeves. Hey, Jeeves. Okay, Statham, you didn't have... He does the thing where he dictates to us what he's writing. So he goes, ask Jeeves, gay pornography, please.
Well, it depends on... Some people think... Straight guys don't think lesbian pornography is gay.
Yeah.
That's acceptable gay pornography.
Yeah. So he puts on lesbian porn.
Yeah.
Because that's what this guy would do.
Yeah.
And we get Steve's reaction to all this, and he goes, autoerotic asphyxiation.
The perfect cover.
So they did a mechanic kill without all the work, without all the effort. They just did it in a second. And they were just like, yeah, Bronson, get fucked. We can do a great setting and everything in a minute. You fucking suck. That guy...
They pulled out the Excelsior 5000 that the guy had, shoved it up his ass, turned it on, and left.
The problem... Let's think of this over. Let's think about this like we're the detectives coming in here. We're going to look at that guy's dick. He's got no ring marks on. He's got no struggle. There's no lotion. Right. There's no nothing. There's no rag. There's no Kleenex.
No
there's
socks.
There's no There's nothing. His hand, it's like, it's not even moisturized yet. There is nothing.
He's standing up with a fucking belt from a robe around his neck and some porn playing.
That's it. He wasn't... Oh, God damn it.
Was that the extended edition of the porn thing? Because those clips are usually only about 5-10 minutes. Like,
he must have put it on repeat or got like some kind of live feed that was just rotating through. I don't know. They did a terrible job staging this because they did it in 4
Some OnlyFans girl's pissed off. Why aren't you tipping me? Because he's dead.
Oh, God. So it's terrible. This is very not mechanic. And it was awful.
But he was testing him. He's like, I wanted you to see one up close. He wanted to see how he would react. Because Steve talks a lot of shit. But we haven't seen him do anything.
Right.
Yet.
And Steve didn't react. He knew about the autoerotic asphyxiation. He's like, page 105 of the insurance magazine. And it was a picture of that guy hanging. So that was weird. That's a Twilight Zone episode right there. But again, let's remember the test that we had in the first mechanic. That girl killing herself.
Right.
And Bronson just staring into Steve's eyes while he makes a sandwich, not giving a fuck about that woman. That is amazing.
Because they didn't care that Steve looked evil because he was supposed to be evil. This one, it's like everyone's got to have some kind of redeeming quality to them.
Right. And we did learn that this guy that they just killed was also a sex offender.
Right. It's like, if it make you feel any better, not only does he sell weapons to anybody.
Even the Taliban.
Even the Taliban.
He was part of 9/11 too.
He was on the plane. I don't know how he survived. He fucks little kids. Well, shit. Fuck that guy then.
Wait, if he does that, if that's his thing, why would he be watching adult women porn?
That only Arthur Bishop knows. Apparently he needs lesbian porn to get him hard, and then he fucks kids. I don't know. I don't know the mind of a pedophile.
Oh, God, this movie fucking sucks. All right, so they're going back home. And after a kill, Arthur's got his release. He's got to clean off his board. But, of course, he's got to put on that classical music. All right, I know you're going to say it. It hits a little too close to home for me because Steve tries to touch the records and tries to touch all that. It's in the living room. So I'm sorry, Statham. This is fair fucking play.
I agree with Statham on this one. Me and Arthur are on the stock there. Because he's like, don't touch my shit. Shuts him down right away. Because he knows. Because he's got the video cameras. He saw Steve fucking rifling through his LPs earlier.
All right. And so he, of course, is going to reveal the big old kill board. And he's like, oh, shit. He starts helping him clean up. He's like, this is the guy. Oh, fuck. This is so cool. This is so neat. You planned all that out? What fucking planning. They stormed in the guy's door and killed him. That's all they did. All they did. There was no patterns. There was nothing to learn. And just out of nowhere, he pulls a where did he get this file from? He just like pulls it under his shirt, and he's like, "Hey, this is the guy I've been seeing." So
seeing at Denny's every day.
In the montages of Steve going to Denny's, getting the coffee, he's always got the dog with him. He's always smoking a cigarette.
Right. We didn't. I think they kind of gave us a glimpse of the guy every once in a while. But
no, you did see him in the background because he's enormous and he's got a giant fucking head.
He's Patrick Warburton. He's he's a big dude, and he's like, "This is our next target." But you think that guy we just killed was evil? This guy, he's a mechanic for another group. Apparently, every mysterious group has their mechanic.
Right?
They all call him mechanic, but it's got two weaknesses.
We do. Steve does point out. He's like, "Oh, this guy's at Denny's."
Yeah, he was pretty cool. Oh, really? Let me tell you his weaknesses. Chihuahuas and little boys. And then we see him like walking a newspaper boy into his house ominously.
Yeah, we get the cuts of all the pictures. We see a kid outside of a junior high school, fucking bowl cut, Jinko jeans.
The kid kind of deserved it.
He deserved it. He did. You got another one where his name's Berkey, I think, or Burke.
Yeah.
His name's Burke. He's at a fucking
Patrick Warburton.
Yeah, that's really good. He's at a Newfound Glory concert with all the fucking
hanging out at Warped fucking tour, which was, apparently a lot of pedophiles hung out at Warped tour.
Yeah, and he's got the Vans shoes on and everything. He's just blending in cargo shorts.
Gigantic man, he's like 6'7", 300 pounds.
In the middle of the quote unquote mosh pit, and he's just standing there groping the boys. But yeah, he's mad boy offender.
Right. And he's like, so okay, we've seen he likes pretty young boys. Steve's troll looking ass. This total Boston Southie looking motherfucker.
With a fucking goatee.
Yeah.
He's like how did he not have face tattoos? Because he looks like that type of guy.
I think Arthur Bishop knew that. That's why I gave him the Chihuahua. He's like, I know he's into Chihuahuas.
Soften him up.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way this guy would be into fucking Steve. There's no anyone who has any taste would be into Steve.
No, there is no way. So he immediately, we get the open of them, working the Target and everything.
Back at Denny's, he's like, "Hey man, I
Burke,
know you're looking a little lonely. You want someone to share those silver dollar pancakes with?" Well, actually, yeah, I do. Is that your Chihuahua? Yeah, I love Chihuahuas. Yeah. And then they hit it off.
You made it a little less sweet than it was, because he's like, "I've noticed you're having some trouble swallowing those silver dollar pancakes. Can I cut those up for you, little baby boy? Maybe feed them to you." Because that's part of his thing. He loves feeding the baby boys.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't.
And they're like, "Hey, how about we go out to some non-caffeinated drinks later on, some adult drinks?"
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, that would sound lovely." And he does a little giggle because he is really trying to fem it up. He's like, "This guy's really in. He wants a sub. He's a dom, clearly. Right. He wants a sub. So
wants a twink.
He's fighting it because he knows he's a Boston guy. He probably is homophobic. So he's like, I got to fight this urge because I want to kill this man. This is my chance.
They go back to Arthur to set up the plan. The bar date is set. So he's like, we're gonna roofie him.
Tranquilizer
and he's like, 2 drops, fuck his shit up. 5 will stop his heart.
And of course, because he's a Boston piece of shit, he's like, do you want me to rape him too?
I don't do that stuff, right? I'm straight, bro. Wicked straight.
Why did we need this scene? Why did we need that line?
And he's like, no, we gotta do. And then we see them, cause that's why I'll give Simon West economical, because he's showing shit and he's getting shit explained at the same time.
Perfect. Yeah, this not a good scene, but it's doing the job. Right. It's doing it better than most of these scenes. And so we got the voiceover of Statham telling him exactly how to do this thing.
Just like Sensei Cigar, nice and clean. Just put a little drop of this roofie in his drink and you're done.
That's it. Do it in public. Do not go into his car. Do not go back to his second
Stranger
place.
danger. We know that. Don't do that.
And so Steve, of course, is just getting drink after drink. He's like, I think they're watering down my little drink here, my Dwinky Winky. And he's just like, well, they can't water down wine. Well, of course you can water down wine. But anyways, he's like, what did you say I was drinking again? That was Jameson. I'll take another Jameson. Make it a double. And so he's like, all right. Because Burke's like, this kid's ready to go. Right. I'm fucking him tonight.
And then he's like, you know what, bro? Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit, bro. I'm going to kill this queer. Right? His Boston fucking roots start coming out. He's like,
right.
I got to stab this guy.
He's getting ready to fucking put the roofie in his drink and everything, but that Boston's coming out of him. He's just like, I can't fucking do this. I got to fuck this kid up. I got to smear the cube.
Even though he's half the size of this guy. He's gonna
he is a quarter of the size.
He's gonna fuck this guy up.
That scene coming up here in a minute where he's like going at his belt, he was standing up just facing his crotch.
Yeah, it was.
This is like,
I think the real Steve came out in that scene.
Yeah, this is like the Mountain, the guy who played the Mountain in Game of Thrones, and his wife. That's the comparison we're working with here.
And so they go back to Burke. He's got, like every gay guy, he's a very tasteful, artistic guy. He does painting.
Well, okay, Steve does play hard to... Steve?
Hard to get for 5 seconds.
Plays hard to get for 5 seconds. Oh, I gotta go. So he runs out the door, and Burke catches up and throws an arm over him. Hey, where you going? Let's think this over. I can take you anywhere you want, but I got a real nice place I want to show you. He's like, well, I do want to see a nice place. So gets in that car, and there's that voiceover. Don't get in his car.
Stranger danger, danger. Don't take the candy. So Burke takes him to his palatial estate because all mechanics, they make a good living. So
again, it's
and he's like, hey, wow, do you do those paintings? Yeah, I do that in my spare time. Do a little painting.
I do a little bit of painting. You got like Bob Ross's whole studio here.
Yeah, I know. I do nudes, but they all come out like fucking forests. I don't know what's up with that. But would you like to pose for me? Would I? Let's go into my room. I bet because it's like a studio apartment because this open like space,
open floor plan. He started the whole thing. Yeah. We've got interior brick. We got interior glass. We got the subfloor built in like the 70s houses used to have. Giant handmade wood frame bookcases and everything. It's real nice.
Steve plays it cool for about 5 seconds because he sits down on the bed and Bert gets up to get a drink or something.
Yeah.
And then Steve just grabs his belt, yanks him toward him.
Yeah, he's acting all nervous. Oh, I just don't know if I can do this tonight. And he's like, well, we can, just like listen to some music and get cozy together. And then Steve lunges for his belt and just starts ripping at it.
And just biting at his dick. He's like, whoa, 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 kid, slow down.
Jesus, you have a goatee. I didn't think you would goatee so fast, though.
So, he's like smothering his face in Burke's crotch, and
yeah, Burke sits him down again because again he's a tiny baby boy next to this man, so he just picks him up, sets him down. He's like, I'm gonna take my pants off real quick.
Let me get an erection first. Come
on, and he turns around, and then we're seeing that fucking that robe scene that he just learned from all over again, and Steve's like getting itchy. He starts going for his belt, and he fucking tosses that around Burke's neck, and he's going for a ride,
but Burke is 5 times his size, so he just really flips him over himself. There's a struggle. They're breaking shit.
So this is the one scene I was like, okay, this isn't bad. I don't like Steve, so I didn't give a shit about this. I don't give a shit about Burke because he's a sex offender.
Yeah, I can't give a shit about sex.
I can't give a shit about him.
So they're struggling, and then Steve, apparently, Burke got some IKEA furniture earlier in the day, so there's a screwdriver laying out next to a half-put-together bookcase.
Yep.
Grabs that screwdriver and just stabs Burke in the fucking stomach. Burke doesn't sell it. He's a giant.
Right. So he rips out the screwdriver, he throws it. Steve is clawing his way across the floor. He's going for that fireplace because, there's ice cubes nearby.
Well, every mechanic has a fireplace where you can get rid of your evidence.
You got to throw away your evidence. So he gets himself a fire poker, and I honestly was waiting for Burke to fall as Steve just held it up because so many kills happen that way.
Yeah, no.
But no, he stabbed.
He gives all his repressed gay rage out on Burke by stabbing him repeatedly, and then he pours the roofie in his mouth?
He doesn't pour it. He has the nozzle up and sets it in the back of his throat and then gently closes his mouth.
The perfect crime. Like he's like, I got away with it.
So I was like, wait, is he trying to get caught? Because that's the only reason he would do that with the vial and everything. He was trying to get caught and send a message.
I don't know.
But it doesn't pan out. It doesn't make any sense.
So he goes back home to Artie's, and Arthur is disappointed with him. He gives him a first aid kit to clean because he's beat the fuck up from Berg. You know, it was supposed to be clean. And you did the worst possible job, but I'm going to keep you around.
Right.
This guy was meticulous. He's a ghost.
Exactly. Everything about him is supposed to be like, I have... That's another thing we didn't hear about the rules and Arthur's rules and all that, because they can't have this Arthur Bishop have rules because he breaks every fucking mechanic rule that we established in the first movie. That's the problem with all these fucking modern reboots and remakes and sequels, the Star Wars and everything. Any fucking rule is out the window because rules restrict us from having nice moments for people to just look at and go, oh, that was kind of cool, and then forget about 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
It's fucking bullshit. Rules are good, people.
You know what? You need to get your dick wet. Let's go down to the honky tonk but Dunkin'. So they go
Flattest asses you'll ever see.
So, and that's what they do, and immediately Arthur's like, oh, there's my bitch, I'm out of here. And so he leaves with Flatso, and then, then we see Steve brooding at the bar, and this freak comes up. Hey, he's all cut up and shit. He just fought a guy 15 minutes ago.
Right, and he's just Jameson after Jameson. He's been drinking all night. He just murdered a man, and he's back out, and he's drinking.
He's impressive, because he should have whiskey dick, but he gets it up for this freak. Because she's like, I'm into it.
I'm pretty sure whiskey dick, you still get it up, you just can't ejaculate it all.
I thought it was you couldn't get it up.
I thought it was you can't actually come, but hey, I don't know. And so this girl happens to be a freak because she's just like, who the fuck beat the shit out of you?
She's on a leash.
Can I meet? Well, it is 2011, so of course she did have a Walkman with corn on it. And she was like, let's go to the alley. There's no Zargathas out there. I was looking for one because I wanted to get assaulted by a Zargatha tonight, but you're pretty ugly. You'll do. And so she happens to be into, some rough shit. And that's why Steve takes her out back and gives her the safest sex of her life.
Yeah, we get a quick cut fucktage. They had to quick cut this. They can't, it's bad enough action. All action now is quick cuts.
Yeah. Even the sex.
Was the stunt double in there for him? Did Ben Foster not be able to work? He's like,
yeah.
Put in the stunt double.
Put in the stunt
quick
double.
Cut it. They'll never know.
This girl is begging to be abused, and all he does is set her down on a pile of trash, which is abuse in a different kind of way. And then he gets naked and puts his penis in her, which is, again, another type of
That's
abuse.
weird. They're in the alley, you get completely naked.
Completely
You're
naked.
in an alley. You might get busted. You got to pull up your pants real quick.
Yeah.
But he takes his pants off. He folds them. He puts
folds
them
them.
on a dumpster.
He's supposed to be drunk and aggressive, and she's begging him to be aggressive, and he's like caressing her face. He's telling her
Waterfalled her.
he waterfalled her, and he's like, "Is it okay?" Everything about that was weird. It was awful.
It was awful, but fortunately it ends. Next day, is this the scene where Arthur gives his hoe the chihuahua, right? He's walking out.
Yeah, he's walking out, and since that mission's over, he's got the chihuahua, and he's at least decent enough to know he's not going to take care of this dog, so he gives it to his prostitute.
Right.
And she
takes it as payment?
Yeah, I guess it's payment, and then she's like, this is really cute. I'm going to name it. I'm going to name it Arthur.
Fuck this movie. So now they're back at Arthur's. They're ready for their next job, and this is a real doozy.
Well, this, of course, we got, just like in the original mechanic, we have to have that moment where his authority knows he brought in an outside guy.
Right.
So this is where he's going to get chewed out for...
Yeah, Dean's pissed off. He's like, look, that was a mess. It was a total mess. It was the worst fucking kill ever.
Everything about it was a mess. And it's...
But Arthur still sees something in Steve for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
But,
and he does the line where he's like, wouldn't you want, just like Harry taught me, wouldn't you want me to teach, you'd have two fucking stellar killers on your hands
He's
here.
like, okay, but this next job's got to be done fast. Super extra duper fast.
Again, borrowing it from the original mechanic.
I don't do fast jobs. What you going to do it this time to make up for fucking Steve? So they got the kill board. This guy, he's a cult leader. He's a big, to even make him more repulsive, he's got to be a big fat guy. And we, of course, because he's religious, he's got to be a phony, because they're all phonies. But not only that, Griff, he knocked up one of his congregation, a young girl.
Yep.
Told her to get an abortion, and she was like, I'm not getting an abortion. So he had her killed.
Yep.
Because they're all sex offenders.
Well.
He had her killed on Jeffrey Epstein's island. By
Yes,
the way.
but he did check with the one girl and make sure she was 18. He's still a slime ball.
He did.
But he doesn't go for
But that's
the
what turned him
underage.
off, because he was like 18. Because he knows he didn't do anything with her.
He didn't. No, that's a good point. So, yeah. You can't
So,
just...
yeah, we get a little montage of this guy being a sleazy preacher man. It's the most cliche fucking bad guy you can have. But, hey, this is a cliche movie. It's going to happen in Chicago, this kill. That's where this guy Vaughn, this cult leader, is going to be. But he's surrounded by guards nonstop. I don't know why. Who gives a fuck about this guy?
Well, he's some super awesome preacher dude, so of course he's followed.
He's Joel Osteen. Or the fuck
Yeah,
that
something
guy
like
is.
that. He's the fat Joel Osteen.
So we get what not modern for the past 30 years. Action movies, the theme is incredibly dumb, yet somehow incredibly convoluted at the same time.
Yep.
So we need this crazy Rube Goldberg fucking situation to set up just to kill this guy in the simplest way possible.
Exactly.
So they sneak in somehow. They sneak into the innards of the skyscraper.
Right. So if you've ever been to Chicago, there's the two circular buildings that kind of like are coggy looking. I think they're apartment buildings, but in this it served as being a hotel. And so they're iconic. You see them everywhere. I think they're on that Wilco album cover too. But that's the building they're working with here, and it's a hotel in this, and they somehow get into all the maintenance shafts. And they're like, again, we always joke about, and it's your favorite trope, getting in ductworks and being held up by it.
Right.
They're getting into walls, they're walking around, they know their way around, and it makes sense for Statham, it makes sense for Arthur Bishop, but not Statham. Because Statham is not Arthur Bishop. He's just an action guy in this movie. But they're doing the quote-unquote meticulous work that he has to do.
Which is just setting cameras up everywhere.
Which is to go outside and, scaffold the building. They don't dress up as window washers and do that bit. They don't do anything. They dress up as suspicious as possible, go out in the middle of the fucking day in all black, and start planting cameras everywhere. And the people are in the window. Again, we talked about the luck aspect of Jason Statham's mechanic career that we've seen. Here it is on full display.
Jason Statham. It's like Jason Bateman and Jason Statham.
I was on a roll there. That's why I can't be bothered remembering names. God, this fucking sucks because all they do is set up 3 fucking cameras. That is their meticulous work. We spent 20 minutes in the last movie watching people, observing them, observing how they go around. This guy, their target, sits in a hotel room.
Yes.
And they set up cameras to watch him sit in a hotel room. They don't dress up as one of his fans.
Would this? So he just killed a girl, and that's bad. Why would that be important enough to have this super secret organization take this guy out?
I mean, maybe somebody else said, kill that guy. Maybe it was the girl's parents. They knew it was that Vaughn guy who did it. So they fired him.
The guy has Jeeves and fucking... Okay. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah, no.
I'll go.
I'm not worried about why that order came in. Because, again, the movie is supposed to be about just ruthless killing. Anybody can hire these people to
There
go
was
kill.
a lot of Ruth in these killings.
Well, yeah, a lot of Baby Ruth in this man.
So they're observing the guy. They're going over the plans. And then I think Steve comes up with adrenaline. Or I think Arthur did. I don't know who the fuck came up with it. But the guy's like, no, that wouldn't work. But if the fucking AMTs come in, they'll give him something else. And it will kill him.
Yeah. if we pump them full of this, they'll try to counteract it with this.
After fucking Pulp Fiction, everything's fucking adrenaline now.
Supposedly, when I was reading, this was a beautiful IMDb fact, where they were like, that's not those two. They're one of the same. They have two different names, but they do the same thing. So essentially, they would have been doing the same thing that the EMT would have done, and it wouldn't have really done anything. So there's
that's
that.
the plan. What the fuck kind of is this? Like some weird hotel where they film people and blackmail them? Because why are there fucking two-way mirrors in the ducts?
I was so confused about this because I was like, wait a fucking minute. It wasn't just like a two-way mirror. It was like that whole thing. Well, I mean, it was.
It was a one-way mirror.
But it was like you could just push it right out. Like there's a hole.
But that's the thing. So, okay, we're saying is in the room, the walls, there's these like panels in the wall that are mirrors. But when you're inside the walls, you can see into the rooms.
Yeah.
Why would a respectable hotel have that unless they were filming people doing shit?
Right, exactly. I mean, the painting covering this hole is, it's like 4 feet by 12 feet, or not 12 feet, by like 2 feet wide or something. They're big enough for people to get in and out of because we're about to watch them just move the painting and walk out. It is astounding. And yes, there is a vent like right next to them too that even comes into play. They somehow get a fucking screw into the vent system and out the vent system, even though it should be completely closed off to them. Everything about this is so fucking stupid.
All I know is at this moment they're in the wall. They're going for the kill, and they're observing the guy because they're ready to kill him. And then he's got his own like Dr. Murray from Michael Jackson comes in, who shoots him up with ketamine, Special K.
Yeah, a lot of it too.
And he's like, we can't do that. That'll negate the adrenaline. Like, what the fuck knows what's going on? Like, we can't do it now. Abort. And like fucking Steve's like, no, man, we're going through with this shit. So they pull the mirror panel out. That guy is like by himself, high as fuck. He's got a fucking IV drip of ketamine. I don't know if you can survive that.
No, I don't know how this man is surviving this.
He's got fucking cat tranquilizers going through his body.
So because he was going into his whole like psychotic, he's listening to his tapes to tell him like their affirmations, himself reading affirmations. You are a good leader. You do have a great congregation. You didn't fuck those kids. They fucked you.
So we like once again. Not one of even Arthur's plans are bullshit because he's like, we got it because we forgot to point out they had one of those snake cams, they watch shit. Like we're just gonna shove this down his throat and kill him, that would even kill you because they do that shit. They do put shit down your throat to like see shit.
Right. I don't know how this is supposed to work. I doubted every second of it. It was fucking stupid.
And it would. Totally, if you're just ramming it down a guy's throat, it would totally damage his throat. So the ME would see all this shit. They would know that this was a murder because every fucking Bronson kill looked like an accident. It made sense. It was simple.
Yep.
Every one of these is convoluted and never works.
Right. Again, let's talk it over. You had the Rube Goldberg kill in the first scene. They made it. You could find maybe a bullet hole, but it'd be really fucking hard with that explosion and his first kill. And then there's Harry, who ran up the hill. You're going to have all those footmarks of him running up the hill and everything. You're going to have him get in the car. You're going to have him having the heart attack. There's so many ways where people are going to be like, oh, shit, well, here we go. Who knows why he ran from here to here, but clearly he had a heart attack. This is just like, it's a fucking mess. His last kill, a fucking mess. His first kill in this movie, a fucking mess. Everything. He strangled the guy in the water. They're gonna find strangle marks on the guy. They're gonna see that his windpipe was like, collapsed or something. How does that make it an accident? It doesn't. He got murdered. This movie is so
He strangled the guy underwater. Why the fuck?
It's so bad. It's just like pulling the pants down of the mechanic rules and just fucking shoving a bronze schlong right up there. It's so bad.
So they choke him with a fucking snake camera.
Yeah, and the guy, because he's got something on his throat, he can't yell out. He actually does go, "Hey, how are you?" And then he dies. And then they're like, oh shit, cheese it. Let's get back in there.
So they go back inside the wall, close up the mirror panel.
And then they wait because they so silently were able to get there. But now they can't silently squirm away. They have to stay there and not breathe very heavily.
You have to make sure that it went perfectly. These guys go, he must have died on his own.
They can't just go back to the room where they have fucking live feed cameras.
You would think, first of all, no one's going to survive an IV of ketamine. But if you could, what you would do is just make the drip come out a lot faster so it would kill him.
What? Wait a minute. The smartest killers in the world didn't think this guy is mainlining ketamine. He's passed out right now. We can just increase the drip.
Right.
Because ketamine is dangerous. We could inject something into it. You know, we can do all this stuff and make it look like, hey, his crew mainlining fucking ketamine in him.
Yeah, you blame the doctor, and it's the doctor's fault because he fucked up. Much like, this is what happened with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
A mechanic killed him.
That's it.
Yeah, he did it right.
He did it right.
So they're like watching, I guess, to confirm the kill. I don't know why they're standing there watching and don't leave. But the guards come in with their guns.
Yep. And it just they're just all like freaked out for 1 second, and then they're just like, hey, everybody, let's just hush for a minute. And they all stand there perfectly silently. So,
a moment of silence for this guy who just died.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So they bring everybody in the room. No one goes, oh, fuck, we got to panic. We got to go do this. We got to call this guy. We got to go. No, they're just like, let's stand here calmly. And it just so happens they stand there calm enough to hear a fucking nut drop.
Not their nuts. A real metal nut. And it just falls out of
It falls. That's what I was complaining about.
Yeah.
How did the nut get into the vent to come out of the vent?
And still, how would that even tip them off to anything? Because it was a tiny vent that people couldn't get through. But they go, let me stare into this mirror for a while.
Yeah. So
He's pulling up fucking Neil Breen. He's like,
Yep.
I'm just going to go to the trash lodge
I was
for a
really
minute.
hoping we were going to get that superimposed image of the guy growing a beard.
And so the guy's just staring, and Steve's like, fuck it. I'm just there shooting. So he just shoots the guy through the mirror.
Yep.
And then all hell breaks loose.
Oh, my God. It's so fucking stupid. So we got Steve. He works his way through the duct system again. Arthur, like, pushes through and ends up in the ceiling.
Yeah, he makes it to the roof of the building somehow.
Because Statham and roofs, they just go together, you know? I was waiting for there to be... Okay, you would have saved me. Despite all of the problems we have with this movie, if there was a hot tub kill on this roof, I would have been like, okay, this is good. This is a good movie. But there's no hot tub up here.
No ninjas, no hot tubs. Okay, I'm going to assume everybody who's a bodyguard is also a sex offender because these people might just be like private contractors that are just bodyguards and they're murdering these guys. These guys are doing their job.
I feel like...
Keep in mind, Charles Bronson's character makes perfect sense. He would just kill anybody. He's a fucking killer.
Right.
But we've established Arthur Bishop only kills bad guys.
I believe in the Laserdisc version, which this didn't get, but I saw some of the behind-the-scenes work that they had. And in the footage they were recording, you know, when they staked it out for like 14 minutes, all of the bodyguards said, I'd like a piece of that 14-year-old tush. So they're also...
that was the deleted scene.
Yeah, they're also sex offenders.
Yeah, okay.
Yep,
okay, then it's all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
They're murdering everybody.
Yep.
And then we were talking about, from here on out, every fucking thing about these kills is luck. Because it's like a window washer thing or something, right? Like is that what they found?
I don't remember what they find.
Whatever it does, it has ropes on it.
Yeah.
And apparently Arthur does the fucking math in his mind. He's like, this will be enough to get down to the one fucking window that's available on the side of the fucking building they're on.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're supposed to be these killers who do jobs quietly. They quietly killed the guy. And then now that the guards are tipped off, they are no longer doing anything quietly. They even they killed a guy and threw him off the roof. So... There's evidence everywhere. Right. Everything's fucked. And now they're like they have to do a daring escape, so they find like the little ropes there. They just do a single knot, bunny loops or whatever they call it when you tie your shoes, around their waist, and they're like, "All right, let's go, kid."
Yeah, somehow perfect microwave timing because right where there's one window. There's literally just one window, and they stop right there.
Yep.
And they shoot through, go through, and they just walk right out.
Everybody's still panicking. I don't know. Someone set the fire alarm or something, so everyone's evacuating. They're able to just blend right in and walk right out. And Statham is telling them, all right, here's the thing. I'm going to go to O'Hare. You go to the other airport. We're going to meet up somewhere back at my house or
Well,
something.
that's going on. Well, no, because that's how they did. I don't know if maybe it's this scene or maybe earlier. They established he does get some of his missions from an airport. Like there's like a package for him on the conveyor belt, the luggage belt.
Oh, okay.
This might actually he might be doing it for this scene coming up because we see Mr. Dean. He's fucking pissed off, which he should be. He just fucked everything up. This is the most suspicious looking death we've ever seen. It's like fucking. Like, I mean, why didn't they just put the guy in fucking prison and hang him like Epstein? That would have been even.
That would have been the better way to go.
So, all right, he goes to the airport. I think he's either going to pick up the money for this kill, which he shouldn't. He should give money back to these motherfuckers because it's the worst kill ever, or he's going to get his new mission. I don't fucking know. He's at the airport, but he notices.
What did Dean? I think Dean even said, "Hey, this is a no DQ kill. I just need it done fast."
Right. Well, he did it. They did it fast,
and there definitely was no rules to this job.
Nothing clean about it.
Nothing clean about it.
Nothing clean, Dean. So he's at the airport to get his pay or whatever the fuck, and
he's sitting there with his Denny's cup. He still had time to stop at Denny's.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I didn't know Denny's had takeout. Like he's just.
Well, I mean, for him,
maybe in New Orleans they do.
Yeah, maybe I mean, they're in Chicago right now.
Oh,
the Chicago Denny's definitely do. I've stopped by a few.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the coffee. You got to stop for the coffee. It's the only rule.
It's known as the best coffee in the world.
It's the only rule in this movie. Is that Denny's coffee
at Denny's
is good. I mean, next time Stewart comes over stateside, I know he's going to be going to the Denny's to get the coffee.
Even Stewart talks like that. He's like, it's Denny's coffee.
Well, that's the coffee. It
scalds the vocal cord.
Exactly. And that's why Statham talks that way.
I like it piping hot. So he notices somebody. Why, it's his fucking friend. He thought he was dead in South Africa.
We saw the pictures, him and his Josh Lee Wesley glasses.
Joshua Wesley?
Yeah.
Apparently killing doesn't pay as much as it used to because he's getting on a bus.
Yeah.
So he sits at a bus is empty. It's a fucking busy airport. Why would the bus be empty? But
right.
We need it to be empty because Arthur gets on the bus with him. I thought you were dead.
Yeah, he's like, how long does this bus take to get to its destination? 15 minutes. That gives us enough time. I thought you were dead. And then the guy lowers his glasses a little bit, puts his crucifix necklace into his shirt.
Pulls out the Bible and the German law book.
Which one?
And he's like, look, I'm going to tell you everything because we need to get this movie over with. Dean paid me to kill off all our other friends.
Yeah.
That was me. And you know what, Harry? He was going to rat us out because me and Dean have been up to all this nefarious shit. I'm not going to tell you what we're doing, but it's nefarious.
Right.
All to say, there's some sex offenses going on. And
there's
put
definitely sex offenses. And you're just a little upset because you got played.
Yeah, because you don't care.
You got played.
And then it's like, well, them's fighting words to me, bloke. And then... what's this guy's name?
I didn't catch it. Rich?
Fuckhead. He has the killer handle on a luggage, like the handle that extends from your luggage.
They wanted this to be a spy movie. They wanted this to be James Bond. So the guy's he's got the wheelie cart luggage thing. Oh. So it's the extending handle. He breaks it off, and it's a fucking weapon. Right.
So we get
it's turning into wings now.
Get a boring, extended, quick cut scene of them fighting in a bus.
It's so bad. At one point, Arthur rips out the fucking pin for the fire extinguisher and sticks it in the guy's face. Not in his eye. Like in his...
No, he sticks it in his cheek.
It was in his cheek, okay.
There's a scene he slowly pulls it out.
Yeah. Again, this is AEW and thumbtacks. This is so fucking stupid.
And then, of course, you get the scene where they're struggling, where he's about to stab Arthur with that fucking luggage handle.
Yep.
And then I don't know. He gets the upper hand. Instead of killing him, he throws him out a window.
Yep.
And a car just Well, like I said, luck from here on out.
Everything luck.
Car
It's
just
been luck, and we continue to get luck, and here's more luck.
Yeah, car just happens to drive by, runs over, fucktard.
Yeah. Again, if this was 90s or late 80s or something, Statham would have had a nice one-liner here like, that's one wrong way to hail a cab. Something stupid like that.
Somebody better call a cab. Or like, good thing I use Uber. Some bullshit.
We're going to have to ask Jeeves about that one.
Somebody better ask Jeeves.
All right, so we got to go to the docks.
Of course you do.
And Murray, we've seen 2 dock scenes already with no trouble whatsoever.
This is
You can't go back to the dock again without some trouble.
Right. And he knows it's trouble because the Barca Lounger's empty. And he's like, where's Henry? Was that his name?
Henry.
He's looking around for him. He's like, Henry's got to be here. And then, like it's a machine gun fire or something. I don't know,
I feel like even before the machine gun fire goes off, he dips himself into the water, and we start to see the team, ascend into the parking or the dock structure and everything. And the one guy gets real close to, and he's looking down in the water. He's looking, but you know what? They put that filter on the camera, so he can't look down in the water and see that Statham is sitting right there with the fucking harpoon.
Harpoon. And he stabs a guy in the leg, and then he just takes everybody out. I don't remember. He kills people. And then he looks over, and he sees Henry floating in the water, dead.
Yeah.
Of course, we got to have that black guy to be sacrificed to the gods of action movies.
That's right. So he gets one of the goons' phones, and again, for a network of like killers, somehow Donald Trump does this better than our super sophisticated, smart villains in this movie. Everybody has a direct line to the guy they would incriminate. So these guys have a direct line to the guy. It's not like this disconnect. Everything is a one-to-one connection to Mr. Dean that could easily implicate him.
Right. And he's like, I'll just call to say I'm going to kill you. Took out my best guys.
I'm going to set even more.
I'm going to set my better best guys.
Save the gas. It's expensive nowadays. I'm going to come kill you, but I got to go to Denny's first. Would you like a Grand Slam?
I'm going to bury you. He gets on his little speedboat. Well, he calls up Steve first because he's like, well, they're probably after Steve as well. And they are, because Steve is being held at gunpoint by 4 guys who...
Let's talk about the logistics of driving this boat very fast with a lot of wind with the 2011 cell phone in the middle of nowhere.
This is a James Bond cell phone. We've established he's James Bond.
Okay.
So
never mind. I'm sorry. We didn't need to go down this path. This is James Bond cell phone.
The guys who have guns on Steve allow him to have the most suspicious sounding. He's like, gun by my in the cushion, left side or right, and they're just like, what's this guy talking about?
And he even goes, I guess I'm fucked because I'm not left-handed. Because he doesn't shoot left-handed.
Right.
There wasn't scene in the montage. There should have been an establishing scene in the montage where he shoots with his left hand and can't hit shit, and they have a laugh over it or something.
I'm shocked they didn't do that.
Yeah, we don't get that. We just get him saying, I'm not left-handed, and then in a second, he reaches into the cushion.
Nonchalantly just kills these guys.
4 guys stationed in 4 different
with guns
places.
pointed at him.
With guns pointed. And they all are just like, oh, shit, he died. And now he's dead. And now he's dead. And now I'm dead.
So, like, Artie's like, I got to ask Chief some stuff. You go get the gear ready. So he goes out to the garage. And then, well, what do you know? Steve finds his daddy's gun. You don't... This is where he's slipping, because usually a mechanic gets rid of all the evidence. He throws in that potbelly stove. But he had to keep that memento of his friendship.
That's right. You never keep a memento. So now the 2 of them, they're back in. Jeeves has answered all of Arthur's questions. He's completely full of knowledge now. I don't even remember what he was trying to do.
No, they're ready to get Dean. They find, because Jeeves knows where Dean's going to be.
Right. Jeeves knows everything. We need to put get somebody. Who are we going to get to check on Jeeves? Because Jeeves knows too much.
I don't know. Elon Musk.
Oh, there we go.
By SGs. He's gonna control Twitter.
That's right.
By the way, guys, if there's some bullshit where we gotta get authenticated and all this shit, good luck. I'll send you smoke signals when a new episode comes out. 'Cause I'm not dealing with any fucking bullshit. And I know he's not going to do it because no one's going to deal with it. If he pulls that shit, people are going to abandon Twitter in droves.
Yeah.
You got to get all... Because the whole point of fucking social media is to be an asshole anonymously.
Yeah.
So if you got to like give ID and all this shit, fuck it. Because I remember one time I was like, as a joke, it's like, I'm going to get us a blue check. I'm going to look what that means. And I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to happen. But if it does, we're gone. We're going to go to Ask Jeeves. That's what you'll find out about our episodes.
Just go log into Ask Jeeves, search Golan-Globus, the worst fucking radio name ever. It's not easy to get out because you have to specify. You need to write Golan-Globus the fucking character, not actually write It's not good for radio. Our name, like trying to spell it out. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It doesn't work very well because you can't search Golan Space Globus Theater. You'll not find us. You have to do the dash.
And that's why I always put it in when I.
Yeah, you got to put in the dash.
Or just follow us on SoundCloud. So Arthur and them, they're ready to head out, but he knows Steve. Something wrong with Steve. He's off a little.
Yeah, he's not talking about the Celtics. He's not talking about the Yankees. This is prime betting season, and he's quiet. Steve's never quiet. Steve's a piece of shit. He should be loving this moment. He just killed 4 dudes with his left hand.
You ever think about the people you kill? Like, how about anyone you know? Does it feel any different? Sure, it feels different. And he's like, so Arthur's tense spider sense is going off. He's like, what's he talking about? Because he's acting really suspicious. He's like, first Steve didn't care about killing, like, kill anybody you want. Who gives a shit? Now he's getting all personal.
He's all personal. So, okay, I do know what he asked Jeeves about. Jeeves, where did the Super Bowl winning third straight quarterback live?
So, yeah, he's going to... Yes, you're absolutely right. Yep. Call back to the very beginning when he points out that ring. That's how he's going to find how to get Mr. Dean. He
needed some way to ask Jeeves, and that was the connection. Jeeves, of course, knows every Super Bowl ring-wearing combatant.
Right. And he's right, and they go to his house. He just happens to live wherever the fuck they are, in New Orleans, apparently.
Yeah, everyone lives in New Orleans. And we do need an establishing scene because they're about to do horrible things to this guy. So they need to establish that he's a horrible human being. So he's abusing his wife.
Right.
And
wearing a wife beater, sure. He's beating his wife, so it makes sense.
And he's got a daughter, and he's telling her, not in this house.
Right.
You're not getting an abortion. I don't care. I don't care how you got that baby.
I don't care if I raped you. You're not getting an abortion.
That's a strong R, but we have a strong villain here. We need to get him over.
Right. So he's going in to get a Vinny's into the kitchen, and then boom, he gets shot in the kneecap.
Yep.
And the mom and daughter, they run in, they're like, what's going on here? And they grab... This is where I was like, finally, they're going to do some classic Arthur Bishop shit.
Exactly. And you're like, I feel so bad for this wife and the kid because they're being abused by their dad. So finally, they're going to get them away. But no, they're going to traumatize these people too.
Well, that's what I was hoping they were going to do because this would fit the original mechanic.
Would.
He's like, where's Dean? Fuck you. I'm not telling you anything. Oh, really? And he grabs the fucking daughter by the hair, drags her to the fucking garbage disposal in the sink.
He's just teasing him. He's turning on the garbage disposal, turning it off. He puts a fork in there because that's the most terrifying noise ever.
He puts that guy's championship ring on one of her fingers. That's what really makes him nervous.
Well, yeah. He's like, I already lost one gem off there.
I hate to fuck up this ring here. And he turns on the disposal. And he's like, I'm going to do it. Fuck you, man. And then puts the hand down. Then just shoves her hand down in there. Like, ah!
I'll tell you where Dean is. He's over on the docks. Of course he's on the docks. He's in his office. He's just in his office.
This scene irritated me so much because I'm like, finally, they're going to have some ambiguity. No. He said, because he sets up everything, he had a stake in the garbage disposal. It wasn't her hand. Somehow he shoved her hand way down there. He set up two, like he maybe cut a hole through the sink so her hand could go through.
I don't fucking... It's Houdini shit. He snuck in 3 days before. He fucked with the garbage disposal. He gimmicked it in this way. It's so fucking bad because as the meat goes in there, blood splattering all over the girl's arm, and she's crying out like, she's really getting fucked up and everything. So, of course, he spills where Dean's at and everything. And then he goes, I guess you're eating chunky steak tonight. I don't know what that means, Statham. Chunky meat?
The price of ground chuck just went up.
I like that.
And then
That's good.
Yeah, eat your heart out, Simon West. So they go, like you said, he's at his job where he's always at, the office.
Yeah, we've seen him in this office 100 times, and everybody knows where everybody's at, and Jeeves knows where everybody's at, so you're one ass Jeeve away from solving this movie in 5 minutes.
Dean gets a call from Arthur. I'm coming to get you. How much did it cost to kill Harry? I know. He's like, I got $50 million from that. And you can have 10 if you forget all about this. Forget it. You can't buy me. I'm going to come get you. And then, of course, there's caller ID on these phones. So he's like,
yep.
Conference room E. Calls up his guy. Where the fuck's conference room E? It's in the building.
Oh my God, he's in the building.
So now the boys, they bail out to the streets, set up one camera.
Outside the parking garage. They're going to see if he's leaving the building, apparently.
So, luck would have it, there's a bus that happens to be there. Maybe fucking Arthur asked Jeeves what the bus schedule was for whatever this mysterious city they're in.
I mean, in New Orleans, in most places in America, the public transportation is not on a sound schedule. But in New Orleans, the schedule is tight.
Yeah, it's the only thing you know about New Orleans. Everything is tight.
So they set up one camera outside the parking garage, and that's where Statham is going to... he's going to...
hide in the garage.
Hide in the garage in a car.
Because we're coming up to the classic
Simon West.
scene.
This is what they were like, Simon, we want you for this movie. He's like, I'm not seeing a car crash scene. Can I put a car crash scene in it?
I'm not seeing a pincer move on a convoy. I'm not seeing that.
I'm not seeing it.
We can do that. We can do that.
I mean,
to get you, the guy that did Con Air. The guy who did Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up video.
I'm noticing that Jason Statham, what did you say this guy? I'm noticing he doesn't have beautiful hair. Can we put some beautiful hair on him? Maybe get a scene of him standing on a cliffside with it blowing in the breeze? No, Jason doesn't want that. All right, so we're setting things up. We got a bus coming through. Steve hijacks
Mr. Dean's like, make sure there's 2 cars in front of me and 2 cars behind me.
He's getting evacuated with his whole crew and everything.
They're going to they sneak him out the back door. So Steve hijacks a bus. He tells everybody to get off. His move is to close off the front of the convoy.
Yeah, he's coming down because they're pulling out onto a one-way road. There's only like one lane there, and then there's like some cars parked on the other side. So they're starting to go by, and this is where Arthur has to step in. He's watching on his little fucking wireless camera that's battery powered in 2011. Again, super fucking James Bond shit happening here. In 1080p, real time, he's watching this convoy go by, and he's able to fucking pedal to the metal, just burning out, and he takes off Roadrunner style and hits his T perfectly.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He doesn't hit Dean's car. I thought he was supposed to hit. He could have just hit Dean's car and killed him right
and
there.
been done with it.
No, he's got a toy with him.
Okay,
so he does hit a car.
So you think it was a fuck up?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Maybe he wanted to toy with Dean.
I thought he wanted to toy with Dean because he's an action star, and that's how you do it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you're a mechanic, you're meticulous. If you're Charles Bronson, you would hit the car that had Dean in it and be done with it.
No. It would make more sense. But
nothing makes sense about this movie.
If they didn't mean to do that, there should have been a fuck moment or something where he's struggling and he can't work the shift or something.
No, he meant to do it. You're right, but it's stupid.
Yeah, it is really stupid.
It's not professional.
It is not professional. It's not Arthur Bishop. It's Jason Statham.
So he hits that car, and then
he pops out because people immediately start shooting at him, and he just hits all 5 guys, and no big deal.
And as luck would have it, at the back of the convoy, there's a garbage truck. Oh, right, I think I can do something with that. While that's going on, Steve rams the front car with the fucking boss.
So, okay, well, the logic of this. He's driving, again, one-way road. There's nowhere for them to go and everything. So the bus is bearing down on him. Steve realizes what's happening. So Steve gets up. and starts running to the back of the bus because a car is about to crash right into it and go right through the bus. It somehow lifts up and starts tearing
and
through.
bursts into flames.
And of course it's going to explode. And somehow Steve is running 80 miles an hour as this car doing 100, plowing through a bus. And the explosion starts up, he jumps, and he somehow just flies to safety.
Yeah.
This is so fucking stupid.
So that traps Dean, because the front of the convoy is all blown up with the bus. Statham jumps in a garbage truck in the back of the convoy.
Yep.
It's one of the garbage trucks that can pick up dumpsters, so he has the forklift front.
Yeah.
So he snags Dean's car, picks
Skewers
it up, flips it over, so it's like upside down.
Sets it back down. And then our Steve comes back over to join him, and the two just have giant assault rifles.
Right. Clean and fast. Right?
Yep. And Dean's got no more guys left, so Dean comes crawling out and looks up at him and just goes, "Fuck you,
fuck you," which is enough. And he's like, also, I had sex with a minor, so it's like, fuck you and fuck that 12-year-old I had earlier today.
Oh, Jesus.
And that gives him enough. They just unload these machine guns on him. The guy, he's fucking Chuck roasted around ground now.
Yeah.
It's all over. They got their revenge. But
they get back in the car, his fucking truck. They get back into his truck, and they drive off. What do we do now? And it just so happens, Statham's driving and happens to look over because I guess Steve was like going for a cigarette and dropped it or something. Right. And he has to he leans over in some way, and Arthur sees that he's got his dad's gun holstered under his jacket. And so Statham, the gears are working.
Right.
We all know, everybody listened to the mechanic last week. We know what ending we're coming up to.
Right. But somehow it's worse because he's like, They're going to go have a fucking early bird meal at Denny's, but first they got to get some gas.
Right. And Steve, the whole time he's blabbing, I used to have a hole in my heart, a hurt hole that I filled with Celtics and Yankees and Bruins. And
that ain't something to fill your heart with.
That's nothing to fill your heart with.
That's hate. That's hate, man.
All I had, I was on eBay every night trying to buy Larry Bird replica jerseys, and I had nothing. And you gave me everything. I think I'm going to really play around with this being a killer thing. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to try to go on my own or something. But first, I need a little snack. I need a gas station hot dog.
So they stop. He needs some gas as well as the car. So they stop, and he's like, you know what? It's on me. I'm going to pump the gas this time.
Yeah.
So he pumps some of the gas, and then he lodges it in between the hole where you put the gas and the side of the opening, and just presses it so it starts pouring out. And these guys, they're geniuses. The way that they just make it look natural and not like an accident at all. He's clearly security cam can see this shit happening.
They even show us the whole things I can. I mean, it makes sense for Steve to try to stage something this way because he's an idiot. Yeah. He learned from an idiot who never taught him how to do it right.
But that's the thing. Jan Michael Vincent, Steve, wasn't an idiot.
He wasn't. No, that was what was going to make him so fucking incredible.
He got one over on Arthur Bishop.
You got the amazing payoff of a genius of murder taught a kid how to learn about people, learn their weaknesses, learn where you could slip one under on them, and he fucking killed him that way. It was a beautiful way for our last Arthur Bishop to go. This is fucking stupid.
And he killed Arthur Bishop just because he fucking wanted to. Because we got to have a reason for this one. He finds out that his dad was going. He didn't care in the first movie.
He didn't care a fuck about it. Last week we learned after he killed him. He's like, "Is this because I killed your dad?" And he's like, "Oh shit, you did? That is amazing. That is good shit." Right. This is fucking horrible. So they want to give it 1 minute. They want to give him 1 minute here because since Arthur saw the gun in his pocket, he knows about it, and Steve returns to the window, and they're playing with the language here because he's like, are you sure you don't need anything from inside? A Red Bull, maybe a bang? I know you're a bang man. And he's like, oh, no, nothing for me, but I do want to say sorry for everything I've ever done, ever. And Steve nods at him, and he's like, yeah, okay. Again, these are supposed to be super genius, meticulous, hear, see, senses, everything's working. Would you not hear gas splattering all over the ground?
Of course you would.
Of course you would. You wouldn't smell the gas. The window's wide open. You wouldn't smell gas just taking over the... No, you wouldn't. None of that. So Steve walks to the side of the gas station, turns around, and shoots the
gas. Like, that's going to work.
Yeah.
Instead of just throwing like a cigarette or something, which actually would cause the explosion. He has to shoot it with his father's gun.
Yep.
Poetic justice.
So everything explodes. We're in Hitcherville here, where actually his house is just on the other side of a hill because he walks home to Arthur's place. Because it's a big explosion. Arthur's dead.
Right, he's dead. He's gone.
He's dead. He's gone.
Just like the first movie.
Just like the first movie. So we get the beautiful scene of him arriving at Arthur's place, and he's like, this is all mine now. Everything Arthur shit on him about touching.
He's putting fingerprints all on the vinyl.
He's breaking a couple over his knees. Like, this isn't AC/DC. What is this? Fucking Justice for All? No, bullshit. Breaks that. He's like, there we go. Black
Where's
Album.
the bass? Where's the bass?
Where is the bass? Well, I guess there is. There's... It's so flat. I was listening to it today. You got to get some bass.
He's just rifling, and then he's like, you know what? I'm going to drive that fucking car that he's been
Well, we got to talk about the fact that he puts on the Arthur's favorite album, and when he clicks it into place, we see a mechanism click underneath.
Yeah, I was trying to forget that.
Yeah, I know you were, but I got... Look,
he puts it on and then leaves.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You usually put on a record just so you can leave.
Right. Well, he wants to be able to go around the house and hear the music, because it was a whole house stereo system. There was even a speaker in the garage, so we still heard it.
Okay.
So, I mean, come on. Arthur does all this shit. He wired it himself. So we got to go down and check on that sweet car. And this is kind of poetic, because when he said, when are we going to go for a drive? He said, we? It's never going to be we. It never will be. It's only Steve.
Right. And he drives off. And then he notices perfect microwave timing, because he drives for a little bit.
Yeah.
Of course, in the first one, it's perfect because it's just as soon as the door shuts, the fucking fuse goes 13 seconds and it just blows up. No,
it wasn't the convenience of, oh yeah, now I'm looking down and seeing a letter. It was right there in front of him. He gets in, he sits down, he sees the letter, and it's saying boom.
Right.
This one, he has to, luckily, drive for 10 or 15 feet and then look at the letter. And then
he looks over, sees one. It's not like out in the open. It's like on the seat, folded up, opens it up, and it's the same as the first movie. If you're reading this, you're dead. And then he laughs. He's like, I didn't even try to get out.
No.
Like, at least J. Michael Vincent tried to get the fuck out of the car.
He did, yeah.
Car blows up, and then a couple seconds later, the house blows up. And we're like, okay, well, at least they had the balls to end it with both of them dying like the first mechanic. No. Of course, we got to set up a sequel. So we see like some fucking gas station camera footage of him doing a tuck and roll out of the fucking car. Show it like 3 different angles. And it's like, the mechanic lives on for that shitty sequel that we're never going to watch or talk about.
So fucking bad. Like, again, this is everything wrong with all the movies that they do now. They're like, let's take something that already has an audience. Let's try to build it into a series. Let's try to cash this cow for all it's worth. And
Milk it for all it's worth.
Milk it for all of its worth. It's fucking stupid. It's a...
Yeah, so there you go. That's our first compare and contrast. If it does well, then I think our next will be the Red Dawn remake. We'll bring Jack back on, and we'll do that Red Dawn remake. So, Griff, 2 things have been missing from this show for quite a long time. 1, boobs.
Yeah.
2, our friend Mike Mullins.
Whoa.
So if you're an OG G&G fan, you know the name Mike Mullins. There wouldn't be a Golan-Globus theater without Mike Mullins. He hasn't been on in like 3 years, but he's like, there's a movie I have to talk about.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck you guys for the past 3 years, but now I finally found the movie that must be talked about. It's a movie very near and dear to his heart. We love he's an auteur. We can't really talk about it.
Yeah.
Andy Sedaris. We haven't talked about it. Andy Sedaris movie in at least a couple years.
We would throw him in the misunderstood genius, but everyone understood his genius.
Yeah.
Action, tits, movie.
That's it.
You
Bullets,
got
boobs.
bullets, boobs, and of course the greatest character of all time, Shades.
Shades, yeah.
So clearly, this guy's not misunderstood. Everyone knows him.
So next week, Michael Mullins will be making his glorious return to the microphone. The first time we've had someone in studio since like Joe, like a year ago.
Yeah, Joe, about a year ago.
So that'd be good. Griff won't stress out about recording. So we'll have the guy right here.
Right here. That's right.
So that'll be next week. It'll be a movie very near and dear. I think Mike lost his virginity to this movie.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear that story.
Masturbatory virginity.
Oh, okay.
He became a man. He was a boy when he started. He became a man when it was done. It's called the Dallas Connection.
We'll have to ask him about wet dreams, too. How many he's had, how many you haven't had.
I'll be pissed off if he's had some. So we'll see you next week, and keep it warm.